Perfect. A very good morning to you and a warm welcome to Aberdeen Sports Village. It's day 3 of the Scottish National Age Group Championships, session 7. I'm Duncan McKinnell and I'm joined in the commentary box this morning by Stuart Stevenson. Good morning, Stuart.
Morning, Duncan. It's lovely to be here this morning on this very sunny day in Aberdeen.
Yep, it's a lovely day in Aberdeen. It's a lovely day for swimming. We've got a busy program for you, as of course we have in every session. We'll be getting underway in about 5 minutes time. The programme this morning, we start off with boys 200 backstroke, 15 and overs of course in the morning heat sessions. Following the 200 backstroke, we've got 400 freestyle for the girls. Then we go into sprint mode, 50 freestyle, both boys and girls, and on 200 breaststroke for the boys, 200 butterfly, and then a real treat for you, the 1500 freestyle. Only 2 heats of that, and then we finish off with relays. It's girls relays, freestyle 4x100s. We'll have both the 17 and overs and the 14 to 16 years. So they will be going as 2 separate events. Sometimes we've merged them and then pulled out the winners, but this time they're 2 separate events. The medals will be presented at the end of the session for the 1500 and for the relays. All the other events, it's heats this morning, finals tonight. There, look at that lovely light dappling over the pool as our officials get ready, our clubs get ready. Aberdeen Dolphin Club of the Year. Of course, will be clubs will be able to go in for the Club of the Year for 2023. Always a good thing to enter. Just gives you a chance to just assess where your club is sitting. There's the Stirling team. They've been going well. And the Geary team in the yellow and dark blue. And all the others around the pool. Some of them have had to move over to the diving pool area. That's where some of them are parked, some of them out here. But there's our officials. Officials this morning are referees. Fiona Crawford and Richard Spargo, and the starters Ross Stewart and Kirsty Morris. So they'll be getting things underway very soon. So we just continue just to pan around the pool. Look, Perth City on the left, and there's Aberdeen Dolphins, pleased to be on the screen. It's showing on the scoreboard here, and that's why they are all getting excited. Look at me, I'm on telly. Fantastic. And there you can see the swimmers getting ready for our first event. Tell us about the first event, Stuart.
First event this morning is boys 200 backstroke. So we have 9 heats in this event. And the final 3 heats will be our circle seeded heats. So some of the top swimmers in the middle lanes for these ones.
So you can see the lineup there for the first heat. Innes Gow, Lachlan Bremner, Lewis Gow, James Geddes, Dylan McShane, Caleb Geddes, Jude Mowbray, Aidan Bruce, Finlay Giducci and Luke McCall. So that is your first lineup. They're just getting themselves sorted. Not quite at 9 o'clock yet, so they have been fairly precise in terms of their start times here. So it's a hush around the pool as we get ready to go. Don't know whether that makes these swimmers feel worse. They're just standing there with no noise around the pool as they have to wait until they get their signal. I'm sure they'd just rather get on with it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I always feel sorry for the backstrokers, particularly when they've got their hands up in that ledge and they're ready to go, and then there's a pause, and that's always the worst bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yep, just waiting for things to kick off now. Excitement building. Hopefully the pause won't be too long.
We have had 2 great days of competition, some fantastic racing, and sure we're going to get some today. The whistle's gone now, so they can get themselves underway into the water. The other thing about today, well, the whole week, is that there's been very, very few empty lanes, very few withdrawals. So it's great to see everybody really wanting to compete and give it their best. So we're away. See the reaction times there, very fast from Dylan McShane there in lane 4. So he has the fastest entry time, 2:29.50, the City of Glasgow swimmer. But it's lanes 3 and 5 look to have the early push there. James Geddes of Aberdeen Dolphin in 3, and Caleb Geddes of Bells Hill in lane 5.
Yeah, great start there by James Geddes in 3. But yeah, it looks pretty even in 3 and 5 under the first flags as they come to the end of the first 50 metres. We'll see who turns first. It's Caleb Geddes, 34.07. James Geddes, 34.61, so just about half a second in it between the top two. Dylan McShane in 3rd. So interesting how they'll pace this event, 200 back. It's always interesting to watch. Some people will go out fast and hang on, other swimmers will just try and time it right through the middle part of the race to come through. But still lane 5.
Yeah, very much two-way contest at the moment as we come to the halfway mark. Caleb and James. So Bells Hill and Aberdeen Dolphins, so as far as we know, they're not related. 110.45 for Caleb.
Yes, I would think that would be coincidental with the locations, but you never know, could be cousins, I'm sure.
Certainly. It's Geddes 1-2, and it's looking like it's going to stay that way. Over in lane 7, Aidan Bruce of Aberdeen, maybe just holding 3rd. And then in the blue cap in lane 2 is Lewis Gow. But it's still a Geddes 1-2, 148.98 with 50 to go.
Let's just see if James makes a little push here towards the finish. He's not too far behind, probably just hanging on the feet of Caleb. And I think he's maybe possibly moving up now, just catching. And it'll come right down to the wire here, I think.
Yeah, so 20 to go. Still the red cap though, Caleb of Bells Hill, but he's coming under increasing pressure. Also, Aidan Bruce is having a very nice swim in the second half here, but it is going to be Caleb Geddes taking the win in the red cap, and he does that in 2:27.45, pretty close. Just less than 3/10 between them. Yeah. So 2:27.45, nice PB to get us going. Caleb was entered in 2:29.8, so he'll be happy, I would think, to get 2.3 off that time. Aidan Bruce in 3rd place, as you saw there, and straight on to heat number 2.
Yeah, a lot of good improvements across the board there on times. Some good swims there in the first heat. On to heat 2 now. In 0, Jed Armitage Highland. 1, Rory Duncan, South Ayrshire. 2, Dan Hall, University of Aberdeen. 3, Ewan Mitchell, South Lanarkshire. 4, Adam Prusik, Aberdeen Dolphin. 5, Finlay Watson, South Lanarkshire. 6, Rowan Geary, Steprock. 7, Tyler Stewart, South Lanarkshire. 8, Rudy McIver from South Aberdeenshire. And 9, Adam Hill from Stirling Swim. Great start again, lane 4. That's Adam Prusik, Aberdeen Dolphin swimmer.
Yeah, he certainly started well. So up at the top of your screen, Adam Hill from Stirling. So let's see as we see them come through the turns. It's pretty close. Nothing coming up on times. I don't know what's going on. There's no times coming up on the venue either at the moment. I think we've got some now. Come in and see the running clock is up and running now. And it was Adam Hill in 32.89. And that is over a second faster than the previous heat for the 50.
Yeah, pretty close between Adam and Finlay, but I think Finlay's coming through strongly now, and just my eyes drawn there as well to lane 3. Ewan Mitchell, South Lanarkshire, just drawing up there, but a great turn again by Adam Prusik. So Adam looking strong at the moment, well clear now.
Yeah,
bit of a battle for second.
Adam certainly pushed on, and Adam Hill maybe on the top side. He went out like a bullet down the first length, but he's right back in the pack now. And so it is Adam Prusik, and then 3 swimmers in lanes 2, 3 and 5. I mean, particularly the ones maybe in lanes 2 and 3, Dan Hall and Ewan Mitchell. But 148.05.
Look at that, 3 swimmers turning in 150. So really close for second just now, all to swim for there.
Yeah, it was 3, now it's 5 pretty much, as we see Adam coming towards the camera. Getting a nice view of the arms techniques there. Looks like it's lane 2. Dan Hall maybe just emerging into second. He's closing on Adam in the latter stages. Do you think he can catch him? I don't think he can. This gives us a better sense of it, and you can see it is going to be Adam taking the win. We just faded a bit there. No time coming up for Adam, so we need to get that. At the moment, that it's appeared now. 2:26.64, and that is compared 2:26.54, in fact. So that was about a second faster than the previous heat.
Yeah, late charge there from Dan Hall. Also Tyler Stewart in 7. He came through very strongly at the finish.
Yeah, you were talking about the different tactics earlier, and certainly Dan there, that was very much back-ending his swim. Nearly worked.
Nearly did. Just ran out of pool at the end there. On to heat 3.
So the line-up for heat 3, Fraser Cowie, South Ayrshire in 0, Oscar Churnside of Geary in 1, Fraser Stewart of Steprock in 2, Fraser McLaughlin of Elgin in 3. 4 is Sam Tedder from Guildford City. Then 2 Elgin swimmers, Taylor Sinclair in 5 and Rowan Brown in 6. Max Turnbull of Midlothian in 7. Rory Culvert of First in 8. And Ishmael Shalabi of Warrender in lane 9.
Very close at the moment. Possibly Fraser McLaughlin between Fraser and Fraser Stewart, the 2 Frasers. In lanes 2 and 3.
We have the battle of the Geddeses in the first heat. Now we got the Frasers taking it on, 32.72. A little bit faster than the previous heat.
And a good turn there by Fraser McLaughlin. He's just nudging ahead now.
Yeah, he's looking very good there in lane 3. The Elgin swimmer. Not a huge club, Elgin, but they really produce some quality athletes. And Fraser showing his stuff here, just ahead of lane 5 now. Taylor Sinclair. So 108.64 and 109.67.
A good 50 there by Taylor. Moving up there. But yeah, Fraser McLaughlin looking very strong just now. Fraser's entry 2:24.48. He'll certainly be challenging that time. Looking good as well out there in lane 9. Ismail Shalabi, he might just have nudged into second place, but it's pretty close across the pool.
Yeah, there's about 6 swimmers all vying for second, but I don't think any of them are going to catch the leader. Fraser there, 1:46.07, now 2 seconds faster than the previous heat. So his entry time was 2:24.48. So it was a 38 for his last split, maybe a bit less than that. So I think he maybe just will sneak under his entry time. Coming through now in the yellow cap in lane 1 is the Geary swimmer Oscar Churnside. Seen him on the podium so far this week. And lane 9 also up there, Ishmael Shalabi. And in fact, I think it's going to be Shalabi taking second behind Fraser McLaughlin. Good win from him, 2:23.58. So he was inside his entry time by nearly a second. And that is the fastest time so far. Fraser going in the 16 age group. Of course, top 10 in each age group will progress through to this evening's finals. We'll get a sense of that as we get through the event.
Really strong swim there from Fraser. He'll be delighted with that.
Ishmael also getting inside his entry time by about a second and a half. So nice little improvement from him.
Great stuff.
Go on to heat number 4.
Okay, going through the lanes. We have Rudy Hall, Mulgai Bearsden 0, Robbie Boyd, Warren Derbas in 1, Harry Keogh running to 6 and 2, Nathan Wilson, Carnegie in 3, Jamie Gilchrist, South Lanarkshire in 4, Benji Jeffries, South Ayrshire in 5, Gregor Skinner from 1st and 6, Luke Scott in 3 and 7, Mano Drysdale, Warren Derbas in 8, and Jake Ferguson for 1st in lane 9. This is heat 4. So 2:23.58, quickest time so far. All the boys in this one have entries of under that time. So the times range from about 2:22.5 through to 2:23.5.
Great start in lane 1 there. Robbie Boyd, the Warrender swimmer. And in lane 3, Carnegie's Nathan Wilson. So they are off to good starts. Lane 8 as well. Manu Drysdale, another Warrender swimmer. So let's see as we come up to the turn. I think it is going to be lanes 1 and 3. Not much between them. Robbie Boyd 31.92. Nathan Wilson 32.07. So 31.92 again is faster than we've seen by 8/10. So very much going with the seedings orders, and a good number of PBs coming through so far this morning, of maybe a second to 2 seconds. Not seeing anybody absolutely blasting their times yet, but that could come. Certainly this Warrender swimmer, Robbie Boyd, is looking pretty good here in lane 1. Robbie was a finalist last year, did his time back last summer in the summer meet, so right, you would think, for updating. 108.80 though is slightly slower than the previous heat at the halfway mark, so we're just losing a little bit of pace in that second length. See if we can pick it up here.
Yeah, he's looking strong and very strong, controlled, Robbie, but he's certainly not got it all his own way here. Look across to the far lanes there, and 7 and 8, so we'll get Luke Scott now coming through, and next to Luke Scott, Gregor Skinner. So I think that's our 1, 2, 3, but they're right, turning all at the same time there. So Luke Scott's actually nudged ahead. 146.95 on the final turn there. Is that around about the same time as last heat? Is that
a little bit slower, 9/10 slower, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Luke Scott from Dumfries with a good contest with lane 6, Gregor Skinner from first, and still up there in 1 is Robbie Boyd, and the late push from lane 3, Nathan Wilson. So it's all a tight contest, particularly up at the top of your screen, and it is Luke Scott who comes through. He really turned it on in that last 50, because they were 9/10 slower in the previous heat, and they ended up 2 seconds faster. So huge final 50 from Luke. Take the heat by 4/10.
Yeah, great finish there. Obviously something in the tank for Luke as he finished his race there. Always tricky in these morning swims as well to PB, but there's certainly some good in so far. It's good to see.
Yep, Luke over a second inside his entry time as we go to our next heat, heat number 5. So the lineup for this heat: Jonah Turnbull goes for Midlothian in 0. In lane 1, it's Jensen Norris of Perth City. Richard Laws of Cooper in lane 2. 3, Lex Garrett of South Ayrshire. Cedar Gullen of Warrender in 4. 5, Greg Hall of University of Aberdeen. Torrin Liversedge, South Aberdeenshire in 6. Robbie Carlyle from South Lanarkshire in 7. Lucas Johnson, University of Aberdeen in 8. And Ewan Weir, Dundee City Aquatics in 9. Ewan, breaststroke gold medalist yesterday. It's lane 1.
Cracking start by Jensen Norris. 31.58 over the first 50 there, so he's not holding back, really going for this.
And another red cap, Warrender Cedar Gullen, also in the mix there in lane 4, and in lane 7, Robbie Carlyle from South Lanarkshire. Also moving up now is Greg Hall from the University of Aberdeen. So 4 swimmers all coming up to the turn, just about together. Cedar just getting the touch, 1:07.67, so about a second faster than the previous heat. Cedar, the Warrender swimmer.
Very close contest between these 4.
Yeah, this is going to be quite interesting, I think. Particularly those 2 in the centre lanes will be very aware of each other, absolutely synchronised in their stroke. And they are moving away from the other 2. Edged, I think, by Greg Hall in lane 5. So final turn, and he will lead them through it. 1:44.21, only 300, so a little more than that on the screen. And a great turn from Cedar. Suddenly the fortunes were reversed, and it's Cedar now by half a metre. Third place in lane 7, Robbie Carlisle, but I don't think he's going to catch the leading 2. And it's looking good for Cedar. That was really all about the turn there, wasn't it? And then that gave him the momentum to really push on through down that final length. First to go under the 2:20, 2:19.50, and again proves by about a second on his entry time. And beats Greg Hall by about a second as well, 2:20.07 for Greg. He's also inside his entry time by around 3/10. Robbie Carlisle was third.
Great timing there by Cedar. And fantastic final 50 metres there to come through and take it. So fastest time so far, 2:19.15. So on to heat 6. In 0 we have Lewis Young from Dumfries. 1 Andrew Smitten, South Aberdeen. 2 David Landman, City of Glasgow. 3 Finlay Geddes Lerwick. 4 Robbie Thompson, Shetland. 5 Brodie Gordon Gibson, Wonder Baths. 6 Kel Muirhead, West Lothian. 7 Logan Jackson, University of Aberdeen Performance. 8 Liam Gorzinski from Montefieth, and 9 Ryan Broadley from Brog. Cracking start again in the middle lanes. It's lane 5 there. So Brodie Gordon Gibson, Warner swimmer, going very well off the blocks there.
So he's another swimmer we've seen on the podium a few times. Not got a gold yet, but he's been pretty close. Lane 5, he is the clear leader, 30.64, by 8/10 up on Liam Gorzinski, and about a second faster than the previous heat. Probably not an event really associated with Brodie, so one of the things about national age groups is it gives a great opportunity for swimmers to try out events that they don't normally do. Quite often they run a very busy program here at national age groups when they'd be more focused on their main events. If they go down to the British events.
Yeah, absolutely. So I see that Brodie's already picked up a bronze in the 50 fly and the 400 free, so must be an all-rounder. He's looking good in the backstroke here as well, well clear of the rest.
Yeah, he's looking very good here. It's hard to see anybody getting close to him in the second half of this race. 1:04.20 was about 3.5 seconds faster than anybody else at halfway, and he's still got that big lead, as you can see, from lane 8, Liam Gorzinski, who's had second throughout, with Logan Jackson behind him.
And Liam and Logan not far apart there in second and third, so Logan's just trying to make some ground there, but a very good turn by Liam. So fairly comfortable second now after that turn, and just nudging ahead as this length goes on, it looks like. But still Brodie Gordon Gibson out in front.
So we've got the cycle-seeded heats to come, so Brodie needs a good time here to guarantee a spot in the 17-18 final. He'll have some tough competition in the next 3 heats, but certainly laying out a marker that gives him, I would think, every chance, well inside his entry time, nearly 3 seconds. That's probably our best PB of the morning so far for the junior team member, and he leads Liam Gorzinski in by over 2 seconds, 2:17.29 for Liam. That's a good time as well. He was entered 2:19, so we'll be happy with that, I would think.
That's the marker down for 17-18 category by Brodie, 2:15.15 as we go into the cycle seeded heats. So we're just about to kick off here. Lane 0, Chauncey Griffiths Warrender. 1 Jack Simpson South Lanarkshire. 2 Owen Williamson East Lothian. 3 Greer van der Meulen Stirling Swim. 4 Dean Fern Aberdeen Dolphin. 5 his colleague Andrew Brodie. 6 Ethan Stewart from South Lanarkshire. 7 Logan van der Meulen Stirling Swim. 8 Adam Scott Ren 96. And 9 James Burnett from Warrender Baths.
And it's a great start from Dean Fern. Dean Fern, we're getting used to now seeing him producing some special swims on a regular basis. He's been up at the top of the podium a number of times in the 15 age group. Was stunning in the butterfly last week in Birmingham, setting a new British age group 15-year-old record, which he very nearly beat again here on Wednesday. Was just hundredths away from it, but he's looking good here as they come down the second leg, just over the 30 at the 50. So as you would expect in the circle seeded heats, he is faster than Brodie Gordon-Gibson.
Dean swimming very well at the moment. 3 golds he's picked up so far at the championships. So really on an outstanding form as he turns at 1:03.34. So a good bit quicker than previous heats. In second place at the moment over in lane 6, Ethan Stewart. That's all to swim for that second spot. So Dean's entry here, 2:07.69. That would have been prior to his British swim.
Yeah, did a 2:05, second in the junior final at the British Championships last week. Wouldn't expect him to be at that pace. He doesn't need to be this morning. He'll be closer to it, you would think, tonight, because with this swim, he is going to be, you would think, dominating the 15-year-olds once again. See some of the other swimmers coming in there. That is Andrew Brodie, but look at Dean go here. Big win, 2:08.49, so pretty handy heat swim. It is Ethan Stewart in second, Greer van der Molen in third, 2:13.03 and 2:13.56.
Great swim there from Dean, and possibly just holding a little bit in reserve as well. So,
I think quite a lot in reserve. Yeah. I expect to see more from Mr. Fern this evening. I'll be very surprised if he's not in heat 4, in lane 4 rather, in the 15-year-old final. 2 more heats to go in this one. So this is heat number 8 of the 9. The line-up: Tom Armitage of Highland in 0, Ewan Beattie of Warrender in 1, Calvin MacDonald, University of Aberdeen in 2, Travis Davey of Dundee City Aquatics in 3, Callum Peebles of East Lothian in 4, Edward Bell of Seagulls in 5, William Storer of South Aberdeenshire in 6, Jacob Light of Morpeth in 7, Kanish Chakraborty of Hamilton Aquatics in 8, and Keane Smith, City of Glasgow, in lane 9. A good start in lane 6, William Storer, South Aberdeenshire swimmer, and also lane 1, Ewan Beattie. It's Ewan, in fact, turning first, 30.51.
Wilton got off to a flying start there, but Ewan just drew him in as that 50 went on, and just turned first there at the 50. So we'll see if they can challenge that 1:03 previous split by Dean Fern at the 100-metre mark.
He was about half a second back on Dean's 50 time, so my guess is probably not, but we'll see.
I think you're right there.
7, Jacob Light, the Morpeth swimmer, 1:05.44, leads them through halfway. It's great to see these Morpeth team up here this week. They've put in some really strong swims, some wins, a number of wins. So obviously things going well for Aquatics in Morpeth.
It certainly is. And it's the pinker red caps that seem to be at the front, although we have Edward Bell in lane 5 just to break that up.
So Ewan Beattie then 1:40.92, and it's Callum Peebles in lane 4 who's really now taking the speed up. He has the fastest entry time of these swimmers, 2:07.60. And when we talked about the different tactics, I think Callum was very much a steady for the first 100 and push it on a bit more in the second 100. So he's come through past all the others and is going to take this. 2:07.6 is entry time again. Not at that pace this morning, but probably doesn't need to be. He's picking up a decent lane in the 17-18 final. 2:14.17 to win Heat 8. With Ewan Beatty second, Jacob Light third, just ahead of Edward Bell. 2:15s and 2:16s for them. One more heat to go in this 200 backstroke.
Yeah, comfortable swim there for the top three, just securing their place in the final, not doing anything more than that in this morning's swim. As we go into our last heat, lane 0 Fergus Curry, Mulgai Bearsden, 1 Jack Doherty Simpson, Scotia, 2 Nathan Campbell, Stirling Swim, 3 Jacob Wood from Elgin, 4 Robert Burgess, City of Glasgow, 5 Lucas Brown, Elgin, 6 Cameron Doran, City of Glasgow, 7 Finlay Davis, Midlothian, 8 Kyle Mitchell from Geary, and 9 Corey Phillip, Dundee City Aquatics.
So the early leader here, Lucas Brown in lane 5. Robert Burgess, you would think, would be the favourite here in lane 4, the City of Glasgow swimmer. That's only the two of them going off well. Robert Burgess, reigning national age group champion. So was Lucas Brown. Last year they were in different age groups. This year they're both in the 17-18s. So they can't both be winners this year. Lucas by 300ths at the 50.
Yeah, they were gold and silver in the 100 backstroke, so looks as if this will be a close one as well over the 200 distance.
Finlay Davis going quite nicely in lane 7 with either side of him Cameron Doran and Kyle Mitchell. And also lane 2 not far away, Nathan Campbell. So pretty close at the turn. In fact, it is Nathan Campbell by 600ths with the touch. Pretty much the same split as the previous heat, but nobody's been as fast as Dean Fern from heat 7. Look at this in a line. There could, you would think, be some swimmers who might be getting a bit nervous at this, because there are going to be some very close times, I think, round towards the sort of 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th rankings in different age groups. But Robert Burgess now looking to just make sure of his swim. Kyle Mitchell in the yellow cap, second to the top, also looking good through that turn, but Robert did pick up perhaps another half metre in that turn, so he is just making sure no mistakes in this one.
Yeah, it looks as if it's getting a bit too close for comfort there for Robert, and he's spotted the danger and he's moving into the lead now. Looks as if he will take this one, but there is a challenge coming from lane 8, Kyle Mitchell, but Robert will hold on to it. And let's see what time he posts, 2:14.07, so just slightly quicker than the previous heat, but again Dean Fern, fastest qualifier, as we just wait for the final results. So Robert Burgess, Kyle Mitchell, Jacob Wood, 1, 2, 3 in that one, but right the way down the board there you can see 2:14s, 2:15s, so we'll see what happens with the lineups for the final.
So then you see the top 10 times, of course they get separated into different age groups as we scroll through. Let's see whether we've got that done. Still waiting, I think, for that to come through on the result system that we've got, but we should get that pretty soon. We'll bring that to you when we do. Next event is 400 freestyle for the girls. The heats here, 6 of them, as we just see all the time scrolling through from that 200 backstroke.
Some very strong swims in that 200 back. This early heats, lots of time coming off. PBs going in the later ones, possibly just trying to secure places in the final rather than really going for it. So we'll see how that evens out as we look at the final results that have come in, and we'll get these to you when we can. So on to the 400 free for the girls. This is heat 1, lane 0. Kristen Mackay, Perth City, 1 Macy Carty, Falthouse, 2 Carrie Preacher, Lerwick, 3 Alice Cummings, City of Glasgow, 4 Lauren Anderson, West Lothian, 5 Sophie Allison, Western Barton, 6 Ellie Kennedy, City of Glasgow, 7 Molly Weir, West Lothian, 8 Kayla Johnson, Lerwick, and 9 Kaylin Chan, North Ayrshire. All 15-year-olds going in this heat. A good start off the blocks there. Lane 3, Alice Cumming. Also in lane 0, Kristen Mackay. So we'll see how this one pans out as the time goes on. Again, tactically a very interesting race, the 400 freestyle.
So up at the top of your screen, good starts as well from Kayla Johnson and Kaylin Chan. It's Kayla Johnson just getting the touch at 50, 32.13. But you can see really close there, just a tenth between the top three. But out of the turn, Kayla Johnson, the Lerwick swimmer, has pushed on hard. So we do now have who's in the finals from the 200 backstroke, and I can tell you that the 15-year-old finalist, headed as we would expect by Dean Fern, by quite a margin. And Jacob Light, Finley Geddes, Corey Phillip, Jensen Norris, Kanish Chakraborty, Ewan Weir, Ishmael Shalabi, Oscar Churnside, Adam Prusik, all joining them. So we go through the 100 there. Interesting, we've got a tie for second reserve. I wonder if they'll do a swim off for that 200 backstroke. That would be interesting. Jake Ferguson, the first reserve. Caleb Geddes, we saw in that first heat, made it to second reserve. Then on the 16-year-olds, our finalists, Jack Doherty, Edward Bell, Jack Doherty Simpson, Adam Scott, Liam Goczynski, Logan van der Merlen, Tom Armitage, Logan Jackson, James Burnett, Greg Hall, Luke Scott, with Lucas Johnson and Fraser McLaughlin, the two reserves. And the 17-18s, the finalists, Ethan Stewart, Greer, Van der Merlen, Robert Burgess, only third fastest from that last heat. Callum Peebles next to him in fourth fastest. Then we've got Kyle Mitchell, Brody Gordon Gibson, Jacob Wood, Cameron Doran, Finley Davis and Ewan Beatty making up the final for the 17-18s. Andrew Brody and Lucas Brown on the reserves bench. So that brings you up to date with that one. As we come to the halfway mark, Kayla Johnson still leading from lane 8, 2:24.15, up by about 4 tenths. So the Lerwick swimmer, North District Age Group champion, going nicely in lane 8. See if she can keep this going in the second half from Ellie Kennedy.
Ellie Kennedy, I should say, moving up well from the 200 metre mark onwards. She's just gradually nudged up that pool. Also going well, lane 3, Alice Cummings, so the two City of Glasgow swimmers, and also Perth City swimmer in 0, Kristen Mackay. So really close between these four: Ellie Kennedy, Kristen, Kayla Johnson, Alice Cumming.
Yeah, well spread across the pool, so you think that they're probably not too aware of their positionings relative to the other swimmers. They'll have some idea, I guess, when they breathe in that direction, but the lane ropes will get in the way and impede their view of a clear view of what's happening. So it's really all about your own swim. Focus on that. So 300, 100 to go. That does look like it is the Glasgow swimmer now, Ellie Kennedy, by 8 tenths, 3:40.25. So she looks to be the favourite now. Ellie, 4:54 entry time. She went a little bit faster than that in Sunderland early in the year. She's certainly not got it all her own way, though. The Lerwick swimmer has faded away, and we're down to 3 now, but Krista Mackay in 0 is right there. So is Alice Cumming in lane 3. So it's 2 from Glasgow, 1 from Perth. We're going to sort this out between them. Still Ellie Kennedy, 4:17.43 with 50 to go. You can see the Glasgow coaches down there giving the encouragement to their two girls. Now, who's going to get this one? Ellie Kennedy has had the lead for the last 100 or 2, but Krista Mackay is looking good in 0. This is going to be very close, I think. Let's see as they come down the pool who's going to get the edge. Here they come. It's going to be Ellie. 4:52.66 in the end. Very strong. She takes it by a second and a half in the end. You see that final 50.35.2 against Kristen's 35.9. So well, doubled her lead in that last 50, just to make sure of the win. And inside her inch time by a couple of seconds. confirmation of the result there. Kristen second, Alice third.
Ellie just fending off that late charge there by Kristen Mackay. Exciting finish. So on to Heat 2 now. In 0, Thea Glenn, City of Glasgow. 1, Lucy Atherton, Heart of Midlothian. 2, Alice Perry, Warner Bass. 3, Emma Silcock from First. 4, Addison Cole, South Lanarkshire. 5, Cassie Wiper, also from South Lanarkshire. 6, Alex Coy, Warner Bass. 7, Madeline Pattison, City of Glasgow. 8, Naomi Wilson, Warner Bass. And 9, Katie Barron from Midlothian. 1, 2 and 3 look good at the moment. Lucy Atherton, Alice Perry, Emma Silcock at these early stages, but also going well over in lane 6. Alex Coy, Lucy Atherton is, Emma Silcock just in the lead, 31.8.
Just 100th in it though, and then another 600ths to Alice Perry, so we're very much in the early days of this race, and plenty of swimmers in the mix. Up at the top of your screen, Katie Barron in the green of Midlothian. Lane 6, Alex Coy of Warrender. Lane 2, another Warrender swimmer, Alice Perry. They're all in the mix through the turn. Alice Perry it is, 108.35. Still very, very close. You can see 4 swimmers in the 108s at the 100. So comparing with the previous heat, it is a little bit slower, 6-7 tenths. I don't think you should read too much into that, because it's perfectly possible to make that up through the race. And it's Alice Perry just maybe opening up the lead a little bit from the swimmers up at the top of your screen. So it's increased the lead now to about 6 tenths from Alex Coy and Katie Barron in lane 6 and 9 respectively. So lane 6 just to the right of the top yellow lane rope. Lane 9 right up at the top of your screen, but just edging past Katie Barron now is Naomi Wilson. So Warrender having a good time of it in this one. They've got the top 3 places. Can they hold it though? That's the question. Halfway. Let's see who gets the touch this time. Still Alice Perry, but not by in fact it's tied at the halfway mark. Alice and Alex, with Naomi third.
Slightly quicker than the previous heat now, a second or so. So these girls moving up the gears. Very difficult to tell right now who's got second. But Alex Coy in the lead, and red caps are still 1, 2, 3, I think, as we come up to the 250 turn here.
Yep, so we've got a change in leader. Alex Coy taking it on. Good 5th length from her. 3:00.28 now, up by about 8 tenths. Still in the mix. Madeline Patterson, not mentioned her so far, but she is moving steadily up in City of Glasgow colours. Just ahead now of Naomi Wilson in lane 8. But Alex Coy is the one that they've got to chase. Alex did her time in this championships last year, because it was held in Tollcross last year. So she'll be looking to improve that time today.
Madeline Patterson just trying to disrupt the Warrender swimmers here. She's just come into the picture here over the last 75 metres, but she's certainly challenging now. So we'll see what happens as we progress to the 350 mark. Just nudging further clear at the moment. Alex Coy coming through strongly under the flags here. Lane 2.
Alice Perry,
yeah.
She's coming back at her. She was the early leader, of course, through the first half of the race. So can she finish strongly? Good race, this.
Yeah, as it's been going back and forward a little bit between the Warrender swimmers and Madeline just in the mix now, so it's going to be an exciting finish.
So Alex Coy in lane 6, Alice Perry in lane 2. It looks like it's between these two, with the other two contesting third. But who is going to get the touch here? It looks like it's going to be Alex Coy in lane 6, and it certainly is. Pretty close in the end for second. Madeline Patterson was really pushing on strong. Couldn't quite catch Alice Perry. So 4:50.12 is the time for Alex Coy. She improves by a second and a half on her entry time. Alice Perry in second, Madeline Patterson in third.
Some really strong heat swims there from the girls. And of course, Alex Coy is in the 17-18 category, so she'll be in a different, going for a different final than the rest of the girls.
Line up for heat 3. Of course, this is heats and finals. It's probably quite a tough ask in the 400s to do heats and finals. I suppose probably more so in the 400 IM, but the 400 freestyle as well. Swim this in the morning and then swim it again in the evening. Really have to plan your preparations well. But this now is heat number 3. We have Gemma Brown of Carnegie in 0. Charlotte Thompson of Midlothian in 1, Charlotte Hardy of South Ayrshire in 2, Emma Finley of East Lothian in 3, Isabel Brearley of Blackpool Aquatics in 4, Grace Noonan of Mulgai and Bearsden in 5, Fern Gray of Sevenoaks in 6, Sarah Stewart, Mulgai and Bearsden in 7, Safrina Machin of City of Glasgow in 8, and Ella Pullman from Glenrothes in lane 9. Good start in lane 5, Grace Noonan, the Mulgai and Bearsden swimmer. She goes through 31.02. Charlotte Hardy doing something a bit different here in lane 2. Very much known as a breaststroker. A couple of breaststroke goals to her name already. So let's see what she can do in the 400 free. And Isabel Brearley up there as well in lane 4, the Blackpool swimmer.
It's Grace Noonan, but Charlotte is right up there with her at the 100 metre mark. 106.65. So that's a second and a half quicker than the previous heat. So the girls really taking this one on. So we'll see again what the tactics are on this. Always interesting. These slightly longer distance events. Coming up through well as well in lane 4, Isabel Brearley, the Blackpool Aquatic swimmer. So again, good to see some swimmers up from Blackpool. But just nudging into lead now, Charlotte Hardy at the 150 mark.
Yeah, it looks like Grace has lost her cap, which is not going to help her at all in lane 5. So off to that great start, but yeah, that is an annoyance for her. She's battling away for second now with Isabel Brearley, but certainly Charlotte showing what she can do of a 400 freestyle. Member of the Scottish junior team, spends her time at Millfield School, that comes back to South Ayrshire when she competes in Scottish events. So she is looking good for this halfway to 19.83, about 3.5 seconds faster than the previous heat. And a lead of nearly 2 seconds in this one. Isabel Brearley in second, and Grace Noonan, the early leader, now down to third. So I'm sure she will be bothered by the fact that she's lost her cap. Just has to ignore that and carry on.
I was wondering how much of a distraction that would be. I'm sure it would be quite a big one, losing your cap. But she, as you say, Duncan, she just has to try and almost put it out of her mind and keep swimming. I think she's possibly just about in third still, but Charlotte Hardy well out in front now. Charlotte picked up gold in 200 breast and 50 breast so far, but she's shown her prowess here in the freestyle.
So if you saw the Scottish swimming coverage of this event, there was quotes from Charlotte from yesterday's swims, and she talked a bit about swimming these other events at these championships, some events that she wouldn't normally swim, and she sort of basically said, well, let's see what happens, and I think she'll be pretty pleased with what's happening at the moment. She's looking pretty good. 3:33.17 with 100 to go, so that was about 1:13.5, something like that. So She's certainly, you would think, going to be inside her 4:48 entry time, unless she eases back. Certainly some coaches there giving it the hurry up there. Not sure who that was. At lane 4, Isabel Briley, maybe it was her coach. You can see us pushing on hard there at the top of your screen as we now focus on Charlotte going through her final turn.
Very strong swim here. She'll certainly be within that time of 4:48. So we'll see what she can do in this last 50 metres.
Yes, I imagine she won't have worked on freestyle that much. Looks like there's Byron Sterica, the South Ayrshire coach, in that black t-shirt. We'll be liking what he sees as Charlotte comes in. Time of 4:44.14, so that's a 4-second improvement on her entry time. And I'm sure we'll be seeing her in that 400 freestyle final tonight. Second place, Isabel Brearley, 4:51.33. And third, Ella Pullman, 4:54.65 for her.
4:44.14. Quickest time by about 6 seconds or so. So that's the time for the rest to aim for in that 16-year-old age category. As we move on to the next heat, which is heat 4. So lane 0, Elise Cosins, Perth City. 1, Emma McGavin, South Lanarkshire. 2, Victoria Niven, City of Glasgow. 3, Alice Rousel from Portsmouth. 4, Lexi McCappin first. 5, Ashley Drake, Warner Bass. 6, India Marshall, East Lothian. 7, Rosie Foster, Warner Bass. 8, Maria Howe, University of Aberdeen Performance. And 9, Freya Beaton, City of Glasgow. Now, interestingly, entry times here around about 4:43, 4:44, which is the quickest time so far. So we'll see what these girls can do. Great start there in lane 5, Ashley Drake.
Yeah, she's flown out of the blocks, hasn't she? Very fast through to the first 50, 30.69, up by more than half a second on Freya Beaton and these cousins. And all the others pretty close. We'll see whether she can sustain this early lead or whether they pull her back. Sunny Elise is looking good in lane 0. She's right up there, so Reds dominating Perth and Warrender. And then in lane 3, Alice Rousel of Portsmouth North Sea. Looks to have, well, maybe she doesn't have third actually, maybe it's lane 6. India Marshall it is. 1:05.31 then for Ashley, and that is faster than the previous heat by just over a second. Because it was really the second 100 when Charlotte Hardy started to really push on in the last heat, so maybe the halfway split 2:19 might be a better yardstick to judge these swimmers on.
Ashley Drake, she really went out there flying off the blocks, and she's just holding on to that. It's close, a good challenge from Elise Cossins.
Yeah, just quarter of a second in it. 1:41.48, 1:41.73. Ashley second at the Scottish Summer Meet in this pool last year. So let's see what she can do today. Certainly Elise is going to give her a good test, I think. Elise, 4th in North District age groups, where she did her 4:46 entry time, again in this pool. And there's not a lot to choose between them at the turn. In fact, Elise has the lead, 2:17.99. And they are still faster than the previous heat, now by nearly 2 seconds. So Elise and Ashley both going nicely here. Good tight contest for third. Looks like lane 7, Rosie Forster now perhaps has the advantage over India Marshall and Lexi McCappin, Alice Rousel, all pretty close as well, along with Maria Howe. So what's that? 5 swimmers all contesting for third place, but Elise Cousins is building her lead here. You can see there 36.2 for that last split against Ashley's 36.9. Rosie Forster going pretty fast, 36.4. So you think maybe Elise Cousins the favourite now? Certainly looking that way, coming down towards 300.
This is looking very strong. Doesn't show any sign of slowing at this point. She's really put her foot down over that previous 50. Her splits are quite interesting, around about 36.2, 36.3 for the last three 50s, so maintaining a very good pace. And Ashley Drake still holding on to second.
Yeah, but they're catching her, I think. So I think it's going to be a scramble for second place before we're done. Whether anyone can catch Elise, I think, is pretty questionable now. But we're going to see a tight contest. Lexi McCappin, the first swimmer, now alongside Ashley Drake. And there in lane 7, Rosie Forster, another Warrender swimmer. And India Marshall, who was prominent early, is coming back into the mix. So that's where the race is. But Elise Cousins with 50 to go, 4:06. So she was entered on 4:46. She's going to be well inside that. So this is a lovely swim from Elise Cousins as we just now focus on that second place contest, and it's lane 4. Lexi McCappin looks the most likely from lane 7, Rosie Forster, but in front of them, there on the left of your screen, Elise Cousins, excellent swim from her, 4:42.47, so that's our new fastest time. So Elise getting some good applause here from the gallery. 3.5 seconds inside her entry time. That was a recent entry time as well from Northeastern age group, so good improvement there. Lexi McCappin taking second, and India Marshall was third.
Yeah, it was a great late charge there by Lexi to come right through into second place. She'd held something back right for the end, so that was an exciting finish. What a great win for Elise.
Ashley Drake, the early leader, in the end just 5th place, so she'll maybe be a bit disappointed and have some learning to do about that one. But we move on to Heat 5. The line up here, Ayla Cochrane, City of Glasgow in 0. Tegan Black of East Lothian in 1. Coca Croxford of Stirling Swim in 2. Mary Mischenko of University of Aberdeen in 3. Susie McNair of Stirling Swim in 4. Amy Shields, City of Glasgow in 5. Erin Curry of Hythen in 6. Orla McInnes of Heart of Midlothian in 7. And then 2 City of Glasgow swimmers, Caris Mooney in 8, Louise Connell in lane 9. So this is the first of the 2 cycle-seeded heats that we have in 400s. So a fair range of times, 4:27, Susie McNair up to 4:43, Louise Connell.
Very even at the moment. It's difficult to say who might move ahead at the moment, so we just have to sort of keep an eye on the pool. These middle lanes are all looking good there. So Mary Mischenko, University of Aberdeen Performance, in the lead at the 100 mark. 1:05.00. So that's a fraction quicker than the previous heat, about 0.3 seconds. Amy Shields in second, Susan McNair third. So 1, 2, 3 just now.
Yep, talking to Mary's coach, Patrick Miley, out here in Aberdeen just before the session started, and he was talking a bit about Mary and Ukrainian swimmer, because had to make a hasty exit out of Ukraine, as her father's still out there in Kyiv. So we wish her all the best about that, but she seems to have settled really well in Aberdeen and is now a core part of the Aberdeen programme. So she has a few shoulder problems from time to time, but she's looking okay here. Lane 5, Amy Shields, who will get, I think, stronger and stronger as this race goes on, is up there, and then in between them, Susie McNair, who's having a very successful time of it, had multiple medals. I think she's got all the colours of medals now. So at 200, it's a close one. Amy Shields now just edging it, 2:14.97. Amy Won the Scottish Summer Meet last year, winner in West District age group short course. So she knows what she's doing on a 400 freestyle. Mary Mischenko still right there with her. So beside her is Coco Croxford, another one who's medalled a number of times so far this week in the first 2 days of competition. We're only on day 3. It seems like we've been here for months.
For some of these girls, it will seem like that, the amount of medals they've picked up between them.
249.73, 250.40 at the 250. You can see the relative speeds there. So Mary's pace just dropping a bit now. So she'll need to watch that as we see the 3 of them coming down towards the camera.
Just notice Amy Shields' stroke rate there just went up a notch over the last couple of 50 metres there, so she's just kind of trying to nudge her way forward. The stroke of Mary is more slow and deliberate. They've all got different styles. It's always interesting to see.
And of course this is heats, so they'll all be thinking we're in a good place for a spot in the final. How much do I put into this heat? How much do I save for tonight? But I think we can be fairly confident that we'll be seeing both Amy and Mary in the 17-18 final this evening. 50 to go. You can see there Amy's pacing faster than anybody else's, 34.5 there. It's 35.2 for Mary. But she's looking secure in second with Coco Croxford, who's a younger swimmer. She's just in the 15 age group, so she, I'm sure, will be comfortably into that final. That's your 1, 2, 3. There's quite a gap then to Susie McNair. It goes in the 16 age group. I'm sure she'll be doing enough to get into the final as well. So as they come in, it's Amy Shields, 4:33.65 against a 4:28 entry time. So you feel that there'll be more to come there tonight. And I think that's true probably of all those leading swimmers. Mary 4:35.55, Coco Croxford there 4:37.
Yeah, I was going to say they were just easing off the gas there towards the end, but I could see from the splits they actually sped up in the last 50, but probably could have gone even quicker. I'm sure they will when they reach these finals later. Into our final heat. Lane 0, Natalie Marshall, West Lothian. 1, Hannah Edmondson, City of Glasgow. 2, Cara Gordon, Stirling Swim. 3, Catherine Renfrew, Perth City. 4, Natasha Simpson, Wanda Bass. 5, Phoebe Arbuckle, Wanda Bass. 6, Isabel Wood, Stirling Swim. 7, Jessica Heaps, Faulthouse. 8, Georgia Dickey, Dumfries. And 9, Mia McLeod from Swim It.
Swim It, yeah.
Yes.
Swim It, there's a programme in West Lothian, coached by Fiona Donald.
Glad you're here to keep me right, Duncan.
That's my neck of the woods, the east of Scotland.
That's right. I was pretty sure it was Swim It, not IT, but I was just checking myself there.
So not much in it between Natasha Simpson and the Swim It girl, Mia McLeod. 31.05 and 31.07. And it looks like, well, I'm not going to call it between the two of them. I was going to say it was Mia, but as soon as I was about to say that, I think we saw a little push from Natasha. Beside Natasha, Phoebe Arbuckle, very much a distance freestyler, so she's certainly going to be up there, you would think, here. Winner of the 1500 on Wednesday, 1:04.79.
Phoebe Arbuckle's again a bit of an all-rounder, isn't she? She won the 400 IM as well. So
yeah, but I think distance freestyle is her main thing.
Yeah, this looks interesting at the moment. So Natasha Simpson and her teammate there, Phoebe Arbuckle, 1-2. 150, 138.92. So pacing a little bit quicker than the previous heat.
Yeah, both these girls members of the Scottish junior team. Natasha 4th in the British Summer Championships last year, and Phoebe in a different age group was 5th. So certainly up there in the higher ranks of British swimming for their ages. So halfway mark, Natasha 2:13.24, 7/10 up. And that is about a second and a half faster than the previous heat. So looking good here. So Natasha will probably want to come in with a faster time than Amy Shields because they're in the same age group. And Natasha, I'm sure, will like to have the lane that she's in at the moment, lane 4 in tonight's final. Phoebe Buckle, you think, would be favourite to be in that lane in the 15-year-old final. She is sticking with Natasha here. Great shots of them going through the 250 there, and you see their relative pacing, 34.3, 34.4, so not a lot in it. Jessica Heaps now is moved into 3rd, just ahead of Catherine Renfrew, but you can see they're quite a long way back in lanes 7 and 3. It's Catherine in 3 and Jessica in 7. And just behind them, Cara Gordon of Stirling in the white cap in lane 2. But see at the front, through 300, 3:21.87. Again, Natasha's pacing just a bit faster than Phoebe's, so that gap just slowly increasing. Now about 3 seconds faster than the previous heat. So Natasha looking good to claim lane 4 for tonight. So again, we'll see whether they push on in this last 100 or whether they just ease back and say, well, job's done. I'll save my energy for this evening. Looks like Phoebe is still working pretty hard. And a little bit faster than Natasha on that last 50. And she's still a second behind, and I don't think she's going to catch her, and she probably doesn't really care whether she does or not. The two of them showing their skills here. And Natasha, she's pushing reasonably hard down this last length and not really easing back. Certainly Natasha isn't. Maybe, well, I don't think either of them are really. And Natasha's showing some nice speed down this last length. So we're not catching the finish time for Natasha. You can see there Phoebe's 4:31.
4:29, I think.
So 4:30.11 is up on our screen.
So it is, yep.
So we'll see whether that is changed at all. Sometimes they'll put the backup time. If they have had some problems with the pads in lane 4 so far this week. But they look to be happy with that. 4:30.11.
Yeah, about 5 seconds difference in entry times there, but only a second and a half as it finished up in that heat between Natasha and Phoebe. Both comfortably into the finals.
So again, we'll let you know about who are in the finals as we go through this one. So now is something completely different. 50 freestyle. One length of the pool as we see the summary going through here from that last event.
We have 11 heats in this 50 freestyle. The first heat has 6 swimmers.
Finalists for the 400 free 50-year-old category. The finalists are Phoebe Arbuckle, Coco Croxford, Alice Perry, Madeline Patterson, Ellie Kennedy, Kristen Mackay, Alice Cummin.
Since his swimmers lining up for heat number 1. The lineup will be Finlay Geddes, Jason Dixon, Stephen Laws, Rory McCallum, Jimmy Lynn, Alex Wright, Lachlan Bremner, starting at the other end of the pool. The finalists are out now for the 400 free. So we've got Phoebe Buckle, Coco Croxford, Alice Perry, Madeline Patterson, Ellie Kennedy, Kristen Mackay, Alice Cumming, Molly Weir, Kayla Johnson, Freya Beaton. For the 15s, reserves Carrie Preacher and Kaylin Chan. We're just hearing news about a swim-off that's coming in. We've had a swim-off every day so far, and it looks like we're going to get another one today. just testing the starting system at the turn end, so quickly give you the 16-year-old finalists. Catherine Renfrew, Susie McNair, Charlotte Hardy with that win in the earlier heat. Orla McInnes, Rosie Forster, Tegan Blatt, Mia McLeod, Ashley Drake, Karis Mooney and Georgia Dickey. And just missing out into the reserve spots, Isabel Brearley and Naomi Wilson. And the 17-18s, Natasha Simpson, Amy Shields, Mary Pschenko, Cara Gordon, Jessica Heaps, Elise Cousins, Lexine McCappin, India Marshall, Isabel Wood and Alice Rousel. With the reserves, Hannah Edmiston and Natalie Marshall. So just got that in time before we start this first heat. So you can see the 7 swimmers on your screen there. So this is going to be over before you know it. Pushing on in lane 5, Scotia's Jimmy Lynn. Looks like he's got the edge. Bishopbriggs Base Club. Beside them, Rory McCallum in lane 4, but it's going to be Jimmy into the wall in 26.93. So he improves by half a second to get our 53 underway.
On to heat 2 now. We have Aidan Bruce, Alex Tinch, Jed Zerge Prichodsky, I hope I pronounced that right, Harry Maskery, Sean Can, Jaden Chan, Declan Kay, Dean Vergatti, Ewan Watson and Tom Jeffords. Off the go, very good start again. Lane 5, Jaden Chan looks to have the lead at the early stages, also going well in 6, Declan Kay. But Jaden Chan now just moving slightly clear of the rest, coming up well in 4 as well, Sean Can. But it is Jaden Chan just with his nose in front, coming up now in 2, Alex Tinch, and Alex Tinch might take it. Oh, Jaden Chan just took that one by a fraction, 26.15. And Alex Tinch 26.24, Ewan Watson 26.64. That's our 1, 2, 3.
And some nice PBs there. As they show their strength to just batter down the pool. Breathing optional. Heat number 3. Great to see all these lanes full, no empty lanes at all. Line up here, Lewis Muir, Sam Cool, Rhys Edwards, Tom Armitage, Caden McLaughlin, Ewan Mitchell, Taylor Hutton, David Lamban, Benji Jeffries and Lewis Husson. Times here 26 7s and 8s. Good start lane 9, Lewis Husson, and lane 4, Caden McLaughlin. Caden from Mulgai and Besden, Lewis from Stirling. Who's going to get the touch though? Really, really tight. Maybe lane 2, is it? No. Benji Jeffries in lane 8. Didn't even mention him coming down the pool. The South Ayrshire swimmer takes the win, 26.4 by 200ths from Rhys Edwards. And, well, very quick into the next heat, but it was definitely 26.40, the winning time there. Great stuff.
Great swim from Benji. He'll be delighted at that one. And into heat 4, Harris Japp, James Boddy, Ismail Shalaby, Rudy Webster, Aaron Prusik, Rory Stobie, Ross Anderton, Ryan Brown, Lewis Gibson and Dylan McCombie. Lane 5's got a cracking start here. Rory Stobie from Warrender, he's looking good, but it's pretty close outside him. Ross Anderton, well, it looks like Rory Stobie just still a fraction in front. They're coming right through now in lane 1. James Boddy, and who's going to take this? It's going to be Rory Stobie. 25.96 under the 26 mark. First swimmer to do that. 25.96, Rory Stobie. Rory Webster 26.31. Ishmael Shalaby took third in 26.43. Very close there, and we move on to heat 5.
Yeah, and then for heat 5, we've got Jack Doherty-Simpson, Jack Lorimer, Ben Smallwood, Manu Drysdale, Alexander Stewart, Lucas Johnson, Adam Thompson, Adam Scott, Kyle Wong and Rory Culvert. 26.2s and to 26.4s the entry times here. Absolutely no room for any mistakes. Got to be quick off the blocks, quick into your stroke, out of the dive. You've absolutely got to nail your finish. Easy, really. Lane 3, Mano Drysdale perhaps just got the edge, following on from his teammate Rory Stobie, but is he going to get the win? Oh, no, he's not. It's Alexander Stewart storming through the Highlander at the end there. 25.71, so a quarter of a second faster than the previous heat. Mano Drysdale second. So close. Fine margins between success and the other end of the spectrum.
As you say, no room for error at all. These boys on to heat 6. 0 through to 9. Fergus Curry, Lewis Austin, Alex Taylor, Kenzie McLean, Fraser Baird, Scott Fleming, Connor Stewart, Torrin Liversidge, Fergus Woodward and Ryan Broadley. And there's 3 swimmers here, Kenzie, Fraser and Scott, all 26.1 entries. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Looks like Fraser Baird just slightly in lead over Scott Fleming. Lanes 4 and 5. And Scott Fleming now looking good for this. I think Scott's going to take it. Scott Fleming takes it 25.29. Quickest time in the board so far. Great swim there from Scott. Fraser Baird second, 25.7. Fergus Curry third, 25.85.
Yeah, definitely not an event you associate with Scott, much more the distance events. He's very good distance freestyler, but showing his sprint speed there. That was nice stuff from the South Lanarkshire swimmer. On we go, heat 7, Archie Smith, Kane Buchanan, Robbie Boyd, Callum MacArthur, Leighton Burr, Adam Curry, Jacob Light, Magnus Bullow, Callum Gould and Jonah Turnbull. 25.9 to 26.0, so 25.2 we've just seen. Can that time be matched here? It's Adam Curry of South Ayrshire in lane 5, and cracking start in 0 from Archie Smith of Aberdeen Dolphin. Also up there in 3, Callum MacArthur of Mulgai and Besdem. Is it going to be lane 0? Oh, it's close. It is lane 0. 25.91 just appeared there. And you see, got it by 500s from Adam Curry with Leighton Burr in 3rd place. So close. All these times. Very, very tight.
Another cracking race there. A few of these swimmers so far just nudging under that 26 second mark in the 25s. On to heat 8. 0 through to 9. Richard Laws, Magnus Morris, Finlay Sang, Callum Sinclair, Ben King, Conrad Slesser, Marcus Blake, Cameron Gill, Owen Williamson and Alex Black. Fast off the blocks there, Alex Black in 9. Quickest reaction, but it's boys all in a line across the pool. Very difficult to tell. Possibly lane 4, Ben King, but it's just far too close at the moment. I can't call this quite yet. It's going very well in 9. Alex Black as well. I'm coming through in 1. It is Magnus Morris. What a finish. 25.22. Cameron Gill second, 25.59. Finlay Sang third, 25.65.
Yeah, hedge your bets there, Stuart. You'll call it when it's finished.
I'll call it when it's finished. That's I can never be wrong then.
Absolutely. Well, you could try. I've managed it plenty of times. Heat 9, Connor Christophorus in 0, Jake Gibson in 1, Cedar Gunnan in 2, Kieran Lennox in 3, Dean Firm back again in lane 4, Brodie Gordon Gibson his second swim as well in 5, Luke Hornsey in 6, John Mackay 7, James Gordon 8 and Joe Carter in 9. Luke Hornsey the winner in the 400 free. We've seen Dean Fern's skills already going in lane 4. A good start beside him in 3, Kieran Lennox, who broke that Scottish National Age Group record in the 50 fly on Wednesday. He's up there along with Dean Fern and Brodie Gordon Gibson all coming in together. Who gets the touch? It's Brodie. 24.25, so now we go under the 25s comfortably. So we're into another gear. Dean Fern second, Kieran Lennox and Luke Hornsey tied for third there, 24.74. And they're in the same age group, so I wonder if we're in for a possible swim off again there.
So jumping down a second in that first seeded heat there. As we go into heat 10, we have Jensen Norris, Ewan Beattie, Finlay Nelson, Greer van der Meulen, Stefan Kravich, Lucas Brown, Dylan Cashmore, Logan van der Meulen, Jake Holmes and Robson Miles. That's from 0 to 9, closest to further away on the camera. Really good start there in 4, Stefan Kravich. That was a flying start off the block there. Going well outside him as well, Lucas Brown. And also Dylan Cashmore in 6. That looks about 1, 2, 3. And Stefan Kravich looking pretty good here. Will Lucas Brown catch him just at the finish? I think Stefan's going to hold it. And he does. 24.01. Lucas Brown 24.41 in second. Let's just see who got third there. Ewan Beattie came through just to nudge out Dylan. 24.96.
Yeah, 4 tenths and then half a second, the gaps there, and that's big in terms of a 50 freestyle. So Stefan really bossing that one. Already had some good wins, 2 wins yesterday, including 50 breaststroke, which is a bit of a surprise, certainly to me anyway. Probably not to him.
I'm sure he's been planning it for months, Duncan.
So final heat, Cameron Hastings, Edward Bell, Callum Peebles, Ben Kelly, Finlay Clubb, William Storer, Harry Sharp, Zach Slater, Andrew Brody and Vigo Savage. So 24.0, the fastest entry time here. We saw 24.01 just now from Stefan Kravis. And it is Finlay Clubb, the Aberdeen Dolphin swimmer, with that 24.04 entry time, who leads them down the line. So this one I am prepared to call, and it is going to be Finlay Clubb. I'm pretty confident about that. He takes the touch, 24.17, so not quite as fast as Stefan Kravis in the previous heat, but still a good strong swim from the Aberdeen Dolphin. William Storer in second and Harry Sharp in third place. And there's the summary for you, very quickly up into the screen. So I think those 2 on the 24.75s will be okay into the finals. I don't think they'll be in swim-off territory. We'll confirm that shortly. And it looks like we do have the finalists now for that event. So the 15-year-olds, it's Dean Fern, Harry Sharp, Jensen Norris, Cameron Hastings, Connor Christophorus, Callum MacArthur, Jacob Light, Alex Tinch, Rhys Edwards and Ishmael Shalabi. Reserves Alex Taylor and Ross Anderton, 2 East Lothian swimmers just missing out. Unless there's withdrawals, of course. 16-year-olds Magnus Morris, Zach Slater, Edward Bell, Logan van der Meulen, Cameron Gill, Finlay Nelson, Finlay Sang, Ben King, Callum Sinclair and Manu Drysdale, and the reserves Archie Smith and Rory Stobie. And the 17-18s, the finalists will be Stefan Kravis, Finlay Clubb, Brodie Gordon-Gibson, Lucas Brown, William Storer, Luke Hornsey, Kieran Lennox, Callum Peebles, Ewan Beattie and Dylan Cashmore. Reserves will be Ben Kelly and Cedar Gullen. So we stick with the 50 freestyle. Then we move to the girls.
Yep, straight back into it. And in this one, we have 11 heats again. So heat 1 from 0 through to 9. Imogen Lau, Caitlin Barnaby, Beth Craik, Sophie Allison, Sophia Falone, Phoebe Murdoch, Kaylin Chan, Addison Cole, Sydney Boyd and Poppy Shaw. Looks like a good start in there. In lane 4, Sophia Falone. Went very close, going well as well, right in the lane 8. Second from outside, Sydney Boyd. That green cap, but coming through really strongly now in lane 4, Sophia Falone. I think she will take this one. Be very close for second, but Sophia does take it, 29.31. Good. Half a second quicker than second place there. We just get the confirmation of who that is. Sophia Falone, 29.31. Beth Craik, 29.86. And Kaylin Chan took third place. As we move on to heat 2.
Yep, proud of you, Stuart. You called that one before they finished.
Yeah, I'm getting better.
So heat 2, Rebecca Cole, Melissa Menny, Alice Hall, Rebecca Batchelor, Evie Judge, Cara Gumbrell, Maya Cheshire, Freya Beaton, Maria Howe and Natalie Sato. 29.5 to 29.7 the times here. And down the pool they go. Maybe lane 5, just edging it. Cara Gumbrell, the Ren 96 swimmer. But you can see them coming down towards the camera, very, very close indeed. As we pan through, you can see that it's still lane 5, but also Melissa Meni in lane 1 is up there. I think it's between the two of them, and it's lane 5, 29.29 by 100th. So that was Cara Gumbrell taking it from Melissa Meni, and Freya Beaton just ahead of Rebecca Batchelor in third. 29.29, just 200ths faster than the previous heat. Cara inside her entry time by a quarter of a second.
I can forgive you for not quite calling that one, Duncan, with the 100th of a second there. It was
I got the top two.
Yeah. I'm just getting revenge.
Easily got.
On to heat 3. From 0 through to 9. Greta Samaska. 1 Abigail Morton, Perry Scobie, Katie Towers, Rebecca Sent, Caris Mooney, Iona Casapidis, Rory Foster, Sophie Steele and Alice Perry. Pretty close off the blocks, possibly between 6 and 7. That's Iona Casapidis and Rory Foster. Looks like Rosie Foster just nudging ahead, coming through well as well in lane 3. Katie Towers. So Katie Towers, Rosie Foster. I think Rosie Foster's going to do it. And she does. 28.70. Katie Towers 28.83. Third is Iona Casapidis 29.27. So tipping underneath that 29-second mark now, 28.7.
Yeah, nice PB there, 8/10. That's quite a big PB for a 53. So she'll be happy with that, I think, Rosie. So we go to heat number 4. Tamea Schultz, Ella Pullman, Amy Owenson, Heather Stewart, Emma McGavin, Victoria Grabowska, Emma Miller, Anna Lee, Isla Headley and Mirren McPhee. 29.3, 21.4 entry times here, so again just a 10th separating them on paper. Good start in lane 3. That's Heather Stewart of North Ayrshire. But they're coming back at her now, and the swimmers down the pool just about in a line. Ella Pullman of Glenroth is going pretty well in lane 1. Let's see who's going to get the touch here. I'm not going to call this one. I'll call it now. Ella Pullman takes the win, 28.87. Heather Stewart was second, Victoria Grabowska third, just ahead of Emma McGavin, 28.87. Not quite as fast as the previous heat, but still a good swim and a good win.
Yeah, a couple of heats now under the 29-second mark. So on to heat 5, 0 through to 9. Ciara Pemble, Rose McDermott, Brooke Rogerson, Ailsa Clubb, Lucy Atherton, Caitlin Frame, Sahara Smith, Keisha McCormick, Anna Easton and Tilly Leakey. A good start in lane 3, Ailsa Clubb, Aberdeen Dolphin swimmer. Quickest in this is Lucy Atherton in lane 4, 29.25. Going well in lane 6. Now Zahara Smith, Wanda Bass swimmer. She's really looking strong. She comes towards the finish. I don't think she'll be caught now. It'll be a battle for second place. So Zahara Smith will take this one. 29.01, just above that 29-second mark by 100th. Ailsa Clubb in second, 29.4 with joint second with Lucy Atherton, also 29.4.
Yep, Zahara Smith good there, but probably a little disappointed she didn't get under the 29, but good PB nonetheless. As we go to heat number 6, we've got Erica Watt, Olivia King, Ellen Denny, Ella Chalmers, Charlotte Thompson, Erin Ferris, Anna Kachenko, Sophia Dare, Ella Garrow and Isla Dobson. Got another Ukrainian swimmer here, Anna Kachenko in lane 6, so we'll see how she does, going in the 15 age group. 29.0, 29.2 the range of edge times here, so certainly these swimmers will be hoping to get under the 29. We've seen a few times. So down the pool they go, lots and lots of water all over the place. As we come down past the 15 markers, lane 6 is Anna Kachenko, lanes 3 and 4 up there as well, and I think it's between those two, and it is lane 4, Charlotte Thompson. mainly known as a breaststroke, but putting in a good shift there on freestyle. Just about on her entry time. Charlotte takes the win.
And on to heat 7. We have Kira Davidson, Amelia Leslie, Sophia Machin, Sarah Stewart, Rosie Heaps, Katie Lowe, Charlotte Raitt, Maya Rogers, Tegan Black and Fern Gray. That's our swimmers from lane 0 through to 9. Quickest entry here, Rosie Heaps, 28.86. And off they go, and interesting, a lot of underwater there from lane 5. That was Katie Lowe, so a different style there, but it's proven its worth as she nudges into the lead. Katie Lowe, Rosie Heaps next to her, not far behind. That looks like her leading pair at the moment, but coming through strongly. Then 1, Amelia Leslie, but I think it's going to be one of these middle lanes. I think it's lane 5, Katie Lowe. Katie Lowe does take it, 28.22, so it's the fastest we've seen so far. Katie Lowe, Rosie Heaps in second, 28.56, Amelia Leslie, 28.76.
Nice PB from Katie there, 6/10 inside her entry time, so good stuff from the Glenrothes swimmer. On to heat number 8, we have Bronwyn Payne of best, Zoe Crawford, Jessica Beaton, Millie Colvin, Emily Cumming, Phoebe Buckle back again, Millie MacArthur, Natalie Moody, Louise Connell and Emily Dickens. So 28.4s to 28.8s, the range of times here. Nice start from Emily Cumming, the Kinross swimmer in lane 4. But they're all up with her, pushing on strongly. Down at the bottom of your screen, Bronwyn Payne from the borders. Is it going to be Bronwyn's race? She's certainly looking strong here. Others up there as well, though. Let's see as they come in. It's going to be really close. In fact, it's lane 7, Natalie Moody, who gets the touch, 28.43 for her. So Natalie entered at 28.6. Millie MacArthur second and Bronwyn Payne third.
A lot of PBs going in. Is this a fast pool? Do they call this a fast pool, Duncan?
I think people do like swimming in this pool, yeah. I think it's probably a myth, this fast pool, unless you've got some of the old-fashioned pools that are slow pools because they're not deck level water and you get a lot of splashback. But I think if it is a modern pool, then really it's much of a muchness. It's just water after all.
Yeah, and they don't leave the generators on. That always helps. Heat 9, 0 through to 9. Isabella Abernethy, Mia McLeod, Eve Wood, Helen Stoddart, Elise Cosins, Mary Mishenko, Anna Green, Heidi Wren, Madison Cool and Holly McGill. And again, good start there in 4. Elise Cosins looking good. Also Mary Mishenko. And Mary Mishenko's coming through now. Maybe she's just nudging ahead as we come towards the finish line. It's going to be very close. I think Mary Mishenko's going to get it. She does, 27.37. Great swim there from Mary. Just a fraction outside her entry. Good swim nonetheless. Eve Wood in second, 27.62. Elise Cosins, 27.75. So we're into 27 territory now.
Yeah, in the circle seeded heat, so you'd expect to be up at this sort of level now. Maybe we can get somebody into the 26s before we're done. Line up for heat 10, Sophie Kendall, Kiana Kurtzer, Ashley Drake, Charlotte Hardy, Melissa Mainwaring, Ariana Stokes, Saren Talentile, Layla Weatherspoon, Isla Gilmurray and Kirsty Breakin. So we do have a swimmer with a sub 27 entry time. That's Melissa Mainwaring in lane 4. And she's off to a decent start, Melissa. Looks to just break the water with a very small lead. Hard to tell from that shot who is leading what. Just get the real good impression though, just the work and the pace that they're going at. And it is the 2 centre lanes. So Melissa and Ariana, and it's Ariana gets the touch, 27.33 by 500ths. 400ths faster than Mary Mischenko's split her time from the previous heat. So Ariana Stokes of Morpeth, the Northumberland and Durham County champion, taking that one. One more heat to go.
That's the fastest so far, 27.3, but we could have 26s here. We'll see how this one goes. Final heat. 0 through to 9, Natasha Simpson, Grace Noonan, Julie Dunn, Catriona Stewart, Drew McKenzie, Natalie Marshall, Ailey Robertson, Melissa Turnbull, Katie Rose and Alice Mackey. It should be a close contest, I would think. Drew McKenzie, quickest on paper, 26.33. Off they go, and not much in it between lanes 3, 4, 5 and 6, so Catriona, Drew, Natalie and Ailey, and I think it's actually Ailey Robertson just nudging ahead at the moment. Also come through well now in 4, Drew McKenzie, and Drew McKenzie now stamping authority in this as she comes towards the finish. Drew McKenzie will take this, and we'll see who gets second, possibly Ailey, and she does. Drew McKenzie 26.84, Ailey Robertson 27.12. And in third, Natalie Marshall, 27.40. Some cracking swims there, but Drew does take that one, and the only swimmer in the 26s.
Yeah, and I think that Drew McKenzie has more to give. As you said, 26.3 entry time, so she'll be there or thereabouts, you would think, tonight. We do have the finalists. No, we don't, not quite yet, so we'll just need to wait a moment before we can confirm who the finalists are.
Yeah, that was an interesting hit. It looked very even till about halfway, and Drew just, I think, spotted the danger and sped up right towards the finish.
Yep, so we've got the finalists now. So in the 15s, it's Eve Wood, Layla Weatherspoon, Seren Talentire, Isla Gilmurray, Natalie Moody, Kiana Kurtzat, Rosie Heaps, Madison Cool, Millie Colvin and Amelia Leslie, with the reserves Kirsty Breakin and Katie Towers. And the 16-year-olds we'll see tonight: Ailey Robertson, Charlotte Hardy, Ashley Drake, Helen Stoddart, Mia McLeod, Katie Lowe, Grace Noonan, Heidi Wren, Rosie Forster and Bronwyn Payne. And the reserves Ella Pullman and Zara Smith. And in the 17-18s, Drew McKenzie, Ariana Stokes, Mary Moschenko, Melissa Moonwaring, Natalie Marshall, Melissa Turnbull, Katrina Stewart, Elise Cousins, Julie Dunn, Anna Green, reserves Katie Rose and Sophie Kendall. 100 breaststroke, back to the boys.
Okay, this is heat 1. And lane 0, we have Jimmy Lynn from Scotia. 1, James Aberdeen from South Aberdeen. 2, Caleb Simpson from Montrose. 3, Ross Hutchison, Montefieth. 4, Aidan Nixon, Bells Hill. 5, Yusuf Ibrahim, City of Glasgow. 6, George Hodgkinson, University of Aberdeen Performance. 7, Innes Gow, Geary. 8, Mason Wong, University of Aberdeen Performance. And 9, Joe Jameson from South Ayrshire.
So at the turn, Yusuf Ibrahim, I think, just turning first, 36.80, just ahead of Maslin Wong and Ross Hutchison, then just 100th part, and Caleb Simpson as well. So just the 2 lengths of the pool here. And it does look like it's the City of Glasgow swimmer Yusuf who is moving clear now. Yusuf with a 1:18.5 entry time. Second place in lane 2, Caleb Simpson. Over in lane 8, Maslin Wong, who was second at the turn. I think will finish third. No doubt about the winner though. Yusuf in 1:17.78. So takes nearly 3/4 of a second off his entry time.
Strong swim to start with. These heats by Yusuf. On to heat 2.
So line up for heat 2, Luke McCall in 0, Luke Scott of Dumfries in 1, Ben Payton, University of Aberdeen in 2, Nicodem Troyner of Hearts in 3, Clavia Singh in lane 4 for Scotia, Ross Anderton, East Lothian in 5, Stephen Pater Finns in 6, Rowan Brown of Elgin in 7, Finley Cunningham of Ren 96 in 8, and Jerzy Pachowski from Heart of Midlothian in lane 9.
So 3 15-year-olds in this: Luke McCall, Nicodem Tronjar and Ross Anderton. The rest are 16.
And it looks like a contest between lanes 5 and 6. Ross Anderton and Stephen Pate. Stephen Pate first to turn, 34.10, up by 8 tenths. Quite a bit faster than the first heat, over 2.5 seconds.
And Stephen's really taken this one on, the Finn swimmer. But right up with him there is Ross Anderton. So it looks like a battle between these two. Coming up round 4, Iglavia Singh. And the pink cap as well in lane 2, Ben Payton.
So yeah, it's definitely tightening up, isn't it, in the second half here. And they're all going to come in together, those 4. Maybe joined by Nicodem Troinar as well in lane 3. But let's see, is Stephen Pate going to hold on to this? I think he will. And he does. The Finn swimmer from Kirkcaldy, 1:15.37. So about 2.5 seconds faster than the previous heat, and a good second half inside his entry time. So his coach Ian Lewis, I think, will be happy with his performance there.
Very good swim there from Stephen. He'll be delighted with that. And now it's heat 3 we move on to. In 0, Liam Gorzinski from Monifeith. 1, Samuel Beetham from first. 2, Lewis Muir Carnegie. 3, Sam Ross Warren Bass. 4, Edward Bell Seagulls. 5, Alexander McCallum from Selby. 6, Torin Liversidge South Aberdeenshire. 7, Taylor Hutton Incas. 8, Harry Keogh Route 96. And 9, Aidan McCavish from first. Good start again in the middle lanes there. Lane 5 looks good. Alexander McCallum, Selby swimmer. Very quick off the blocks.
Yep, going well up at the top as well is Aidan McCavish first in lane 9, and also down the bottom of your screen, Liam and Samuel in lane 0 and 1. And it's Liam who leads the way, 35.06. Not as fast as Stephen Pate in the previous heat. Stephen did tie up a little bit in the second half, so we'll see whether this second half is quicker. But Liam Gorzinski of Monifeith at the bottom of your screen, next to Samuel Beetham, and in lane 5 Alexander McCallum. So those 3 will decide it between them, and it's going to be pretty tight as they come into the final 5 then. And it's going to be Liam. He held on to that nicely in 1:14.11, as I thought might happen. They were a second behind the previous heat at halfway, but they finish off a second ahead of it. So nice swim, nice well-managed swim from Liam there. 1:14.11 to take the win, and a good PB of over 2 seconds. Samuel Beetham in second place.
Great swim from the outside lane there from Liam. As you see, a couple of seconds off his entry. So really strong swim, getting quicker as the race progressed. On to heat 4.
Line up for heat 4. Andrew Bell in 0 for Aberdeen Dolphin. Lewis Austin of Highland Swim Team in 1. Adam Thompson of South Ayrshire in 2. Callum MacArthur of Mulgai and Bearsden in 3. Finlay Lowe of Eithan in 4. Alexander Stewart from Highland Swim Team in 5. Ewan Gray of Cooper in 6. Adam Hill of Stirling Swim in 7. Magnus Bullow of Shetland in 8. And Aidan Bruce, Aberdeen, in lane 9. So setting the pace early on now. It's lane 6, Ewan Gray, the Cooper swimmer. So we've seen the Fifers doing well recently, and this time it is Ewan, 34.38.
Yeah, very fast start there from Ewan Gray. There's actually, well, all the swimmers are 1:14 entries here, so it looks really close on paper. He's stamping his authority in this one so far, going well as well. And lane 2, the South Ayrshire swimmer Adam Thompson, he's moving his way up, and he looks to make a challenge, as does the swimmer next to him, Lewis Austin.
And there's a late charge coming in from lane 5 as well, Alexander Stewart. So this is tight, but it's going to be the South Ayrshire swimmer taking the win. Adam Thompson, good second half from him, 1:14.09, just 200ths faster than the previous heat. So good stuff there, and a good competitive heat. inside his end time by 3/10 for Adam.
Fantastic timing there by Adam. Just came right through at the finish and actually taking about a third of a second off his entry. So really strong swim. On to heat 5. In 0, Jaden Chan, Carnegie. 1, Taylor Sinclair, Elgin. 2, Johnny Martin, Perth City. 3, Lewis Gibson, South Ayrshire. 4, Kai Connolly, City of Glasgow. 5, Tyler Stewart, South Lanarkshire. 6, Marcus Blake, City of Glasgow. 7, Archie Smith, Aberdeen Dolphin. 8, Sam Cool, Step Rock. 9, Kieran Chapman from Glenrothes. A great start in lane 9 from Kieran.
It's all pretty close though, isn't it? Right across the pool. There's what, a metre maybe between them as they come up to the turn, but as you said, Stuart, it's Kieran Chapman who leads them through. 33.53. So a good first 50 from him. 8/10 up on Jaden Chan, and that is the fastest 50 split we've seen. Let's see if he can sustain it down the second half. Certainly looks like he can.
Great turn there from Johnny Martin, Perth City. That was a really good transition, coming right up. I think he's moving into second place.
So can he challenge Kieran down this final length? I think he maybe can. So that was me saying that Kieran was looking secure. It's not looking secure now, and it is a super second half from Johnny. Takes the win to 1:12.68.
Over a second off his entry as well. Really good swim there from Johnny Martin. We'll move on to heat 6 now. Finn Bannerman, Perth City. James Burnett, Warren Baths. Michael Skakel, Inverleith. Kieran Hayes, Aberdeen. Corey Phillip, D City Aquatics. Luke Garrity, Inverclyde. Connor Stewart, Stirling Swim. Ben Montgomery, Stirling Swim. Kane Buchanan, D City Aquatics. And Rudy Webster from Dumfries.
Centre times here all in the 1:13. It's about a half a second spread. Corey Phillip with the fastest centre time, but he's well back at the moment. And it is lanes 5, 7 and 9. Also lane 0 up there. I've seen a few swims from lane 0 today that have been up there. But it's Luke Garrity just with the touch, 34.19 for swimmer from Inverclyde. Inverclyde have this reputation for producing breaststrokers. Luke Garrity, one of their number. But the red caps down at the bottom of your screen. Finn Bannerman of Perth against James Burnett of Warrender. Battling way and right up at the top of your screen. There's a good swim coming in from Rory Webster of Dumfries. So let's just see how this one works out. It is still Luke Garrity, and he just holds on to take the win. 1:12.57 in the end, a 10th faster than the previous heat, and 6-7 tenths inside his 1:13.3 entry time. Bannerman second, Burnett third.
Luke just managing to hold off the competition there, just keeping them at arm's length just towards the finish. Let's move on to heat 7.
So the lineup for 7 is Guy Pelosi, Kyle Wong, Finlay Sang in lane 0, 1 and 2, all from City of Glasgow. Lewis Brander, Monifeith in 3, Jack Wallace of Orkney in 4, Ewan Weir of Dundee City Aquatics in 5, Mark Watchorn of Scotia in 6. Then we've got 2 South Lanarkshire swimmers, Benji Jones in 7 and Craig Shaw in 8, and Dylan McCombie of South Aberdeenshire in lane 9.
Good start out there in 7. Benji Jones, South Lanarkshire swimmer, and he's going to turn first. 32.94, so quickest we've seen so far over the first 50 metres from Benji Jones. And second, Craig Shaw, about half a second behind on that turn.
Yep, so let's see if Benji can sustain this lead. It's his teammate Craig Shaw perhaps is his biggest threat. Lane 4 is Jack Wallace from Orkney. It's good to see some Orkney swimmers coming through strongly in this meet. But let's see who's going to get the touch. It is a South Lanarkshire scrap. Very close there. Benji just hanging on from his teammate Craig. 112.81 and 112.94. And Finley Sang in third, 113.65.
Cracking finish there between the teammates. Although in different categories. Benji, 18-year-old, Craig in 15. So heat 8. 0 Connor Christophorus, Aberdeen Dolphin. 1 Fraser Tetlow, Geary. 2 Max Pelosi, City of Glasgow. 3 David Smith, Lincoln Rothis. 4 Connor Mitchell, Warren de Bass. 5 Lewis Gray, Inverclyde. 6 Robert Burgess, City of Glasgow. 7 Thomas Traynor, South Lanarkshire. 8 Jacob Wood, Elgin. And 9 Toby Bullock from Midlothian, Heart of Midlothian.
Connor Mitchell, winner yesterday, and he's looking pretty good here. The Warrender swimmer, Youth Academy member, East District champion, silver medalist here last year. Leads by a second through halfway, 31.95 against Fraser Tetlow in lane 1. But, well, there's 5 swimmers in a line challenging for second, possibly pushing through now. Robert Burgess, you don't really think of as a breaststroker, but he is a good all-rounder, good solid IM swimmer, as well as strong on backstroke and freestyle. But no doubt who's going to take this. It is the breaststroke specialist, Connor Mitchell. He's going to take a comfortable win here. We'll check out the time. It's a good one, 1:08.32, so not far away from his entry time. So I think he'll be pretty happy with that for the morning. So he goes in the 16-year-old age group, and he'll be tough to beat in that age group. Robert Burgess, David Smith, second and third.
Connor Mitchell will be comfortably into the final with that one. Let's move to heat 9, which is our second of our seeded heats. In 0, Jack Lorimer, Ethan. 1, Luke Janssen, Warren de Bass. 2, Jake Holmes, City of Glasgow. 3, Royce Crongellis, City of Glasgow. 4, Mika van Blerk, Warren de Bass. 5, Robson Miles, City of Glasgow. 6, Logan van der Meulen, Stirling Swim. 7, Finlay Nelson, Dumfries. 8, Callum Gould, Aberdeen Dolphin. And 9, Cameron Hastings, University of Aberdeen Performance. Again, good start in the middle lanes there. The red cap of Mika van Blerk just nudging ahead.
So are we going to see 2 back-to-back Warrender wins? Micah certainly looks like he's got the edge here over Robson Miles. So we've seen some good swims from Robson as well this week in breaststroke. But it is Micah by 3/10, 31.74, and that is faster than Connor Mitchell's split by a couple of tenths. Robson second, that's certainly looking like the 1-2, with Royce Crongellis looking good for third. So pretty well spread out for 100 here. The City of Glasgow swimmer Jake Holmes in fourth, just about from the swimmer up in lane 9, Cameron Hastings. But at the front, it's getting a little bit tighter, but Micah van Blerk will take the win, which he does in 1:07.78. So that's half a second faster than the previous heat. So Micah will go in the 17-18 age group. There's still one more heat to go. Let's see if anyone can get inside his time. Robson Miles second, Royce Crongellis in third, just over the 1:10 for Royce. One more heat, as I said, to go.
Micah van Blerk, fantastic turn there off the first 50. And just nudging ahead and holding on to that. So into our last heat.
Line up for this final heat: Fraser McIntosh, Robbie Carlisle in 0 and 1, both from South Lanarkshire. Then it's Luke Hornsey of East Lothian, Jack Mitchell, University of Aberdeen, Stephen Kravis of East Lothian, Evan Davison of Perth City, Finlay Davis of Midlothian, Gregor Ross for City of Glasgow, James Gordon of Perth City, and Callum Aitchison from Bucky.
Stefan Kravic looking very good. Stefan, gold medalist in the 50. So he'll be first to the turn. 51.97. Not quite as quick as the previous heat. 2/10 off that. Looking strong.
Looks like I think we've got a reserve in lane 2. That's definitely not Luke Hornsey. So that will be either Jake McKenzie or Logan Scally. We'll find out who that is shortly. But at the front, it is Stefan Kravis, who has been showing us his breaststroke skills this weekend. It's not an event we really associate with Stefan, but he won the 50 breaststroke and he's making a pitch now for the 100. 1:07.42. What about that?
That's not his strong stroke. He's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's been working very much all round, I think, on his individual medleys. So breaststroke, obviously, a very core component of that. So I think he'll be pretty happy with that. He'll be fastest into the 17-18 final. We'll get you the remaining finalists shortly. 200 butterfly will be next.
200 butterfly, we have 6 heats in that one. The girls 200 fly. It's looking exciting breaststroke ahead tonight. A lot of close times. We'll be going to these finals across the age groups.
Yeah, we do have some very talented breaststrokers in Scotland. We are very fortunate about that. In fact, we always have when you think of the likes of Ross Murdoch, of course, and Craig Benson, Michael Jimmerson, you know, absolute stars. More recently, Archie Goodburn, British champion in the 50 breaststroke last week. But straight into the 200 butterfly we go, and we have 6 swimmers in this first heat. Alexandra Miller of Fauldhouse in 2, Leah Rafferty, Western Bartonshire in 3, Lauren Brolly of Fauldhouse in 4, Angelika Samovlova of Lerwick in 5, Beth Manson of Elgin in 6, and Kira Craig of Fauldhouse in lane 7. So 4 lengths of the pool this time. Good start at the bottom of your screen, Alexandra Miller. So she's first to turn from on the other side, Kira Gregg. So the 2 Fauldhouse swimmers providing the bread for the sandwich here. And they are 1 and 2 at the 50.
Different caps. Would that be different squads, possibly?
I don't know.
Who knows?
It's quite a small club, so I'd be surprised if they're different squads.
Right.
I think maybe just they've got more than one club cap, and one chose one and one chose the other.
Yeah, must be that.
We don't have any times coming through on the venue at the moment, so but we do have our running clock going now, so I think we're back in business with times. There we go, 1:15.01. 1:17.60 for Kira.
Yeah, Alexandra's really going out hard here. We'll see if that pays off. With butterflies, you know, it's tough to keep that going. But I'm sure she knows what she's doing here. Still ahead at the moment. Kira Gregg, our teammate, still in second. Beth Manson from Elgin also making a challenge for that second place. She's in third.
Yeah, but the Fauldhouse swimmers still 1 and 2 as we come up to the 150, and certainly Alexandra is holding her stroke together nicely here, showing no sign of strain through 2:00.66. You can see a 45.6 there, so it's a bit slower than Beth Manson in terms of her intermediate split, but she's got a 2-second cushion, so we're looking to keep that going. Kira Gregg under a bit more pressure. Behind her is Beth Manson, the Elgin swimmer. And the 2 Fauldhouse swimmers coached by Tom Seavright in Fauldhouse in West Lothian. And I think Alexandra should hold on. Looks like Kira Gregg's been overtaken now. Can Beth Manson come and catch Alexandra? It's going to be close. I think, I don't know. Let's see. Can Alexandra hold on? I think she will. And she does. 2:48.28. But Beth Manson got much closer to her than I thought she was going to. And Angelika taking a 3rd place. Yeah, the swimmer from Lerwick.
Well, the tactics were to go out fast and hold on. Did work, just about, in the end.
Yeah, that is the brave way of doing it, isn't it?
Definitely.
It will hurt in that last 50, but it paid off for Alexandra.
And we move on to Heat 2 now, of 6. And we have a full pool for this one. So lane 0, Emily Dickens, City of Glasgow. 1, Jessica Powell from Elgin. 2, Macy Carty, Faulthouse. 3, Abby Barnstable, South Lanarkshire. 4, Emma Barrowman, Stranraer. 5, Caitlin Urquhart, Highland. 6, Laura Shannon, her teammate from Highland. Hannah Anderson in 7 from Carnegie. Iono Kasapadis, also from Carnegie in 8. And Kaelin Chan in 9 from North Ayrshire.
So pretty tight 1, 3 swimmers all coming up just about together. Macy Carty just edging it. Another Faulthouse swimmer. Some of them love their 200 fly in Faulthouse. 33.27. She leads by 700ths from Caitlin Urquhart.
It's always good to have a bit of internal competition, isn't it? Beat your teammates if you can. Spurs each other on.
Yep.
Yep.
Strong in lanes 5 and 6. So talking about teammates side by side, we've got it again there, the 2 Highland swimmers. Of course, Highland quite a dispersed group of clubs. So Inverness, but all the way up to Thurso and Wick, and then across to Nairn. So a lot of geography involved in the Highland team.
Yeah, big geographical area, isn't it? Maybe take a wee while to get to training for joint sessions for some of them. But yeah, going well at the moment. And 2 still, Macy Carty, the Faulthouse swimmer. She's kind of cemented that lead a little bit over the previous 50 metres. So looking strong. And it is the 2 Highland swimmers still locked together, but coming through well. Also in lane 3, Abby Barnstable from South Lanarkshire, and she's actually now moving up into second.
So Macy at the 150, 154.08. So just check her split, 42.0 there. So still pacing faster than anybody else. So she's in good shape, I think, here with the 3-second lead. 154.08 is over 6 seconds faster than her teammate Alexandra Miller in the previous heat. So Macy keeping up a good run going for the Faulthouse team here. The race is really pushing for second, both these girls. Abby Barnstable in lane 3 and lane 5, Caitlin Urquhart going at it hard here down this final length. Neither of them will catch Macy Carty. She's going to come through to take the win. Her entry time 2:43.56, takes that nicely down to 2:37.46. I think she'll be absolutely thrilled with that one.
Yeah, great swim. But 6 seconds off her entry.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Abby Barnstable second, and Caitlin Urquhart there. You can see that time just adjusted. 2:41 for her in third.
Yeah, some good personal bests going in there.
Yeah, great stuff.
So we'll move on to heat 3. Just a small delay here, possibly something technical just to sort out as we wait for this heat to start.
So I'll fill the gap by giving you some of the swimmers who made it to the final in the boys breaststroke, the 15 age group. It was Gregor Ross, Johnny Martin, Craig Shaw, Cameron Hastings, Connor Christophorus, Lewis Gibson, Sam Cool, Callum MacArthur, Ewan Weir and Corey Phillip just sneaking in. And Toby Bullock and Ross Anderson, the 2 reserves, so just missing out. And in the 16 age groups, as we thought, Connor Mitchell, the fastest qualifier. Evan Davidson will be there, Royas Kringallis, Logan van der Merlen, Luke Garrity, Finn Bannerman, James Burnett, Finley Sang, Rory Webster and Tyler Stewart, Karen Chapman and Adam Thompson on the reserve bench. And the 17 and 18s, that man Stefan Kravis leading the field with Micah Van Blurk, who won his heat, Robson Miles, Jack Mitchell, Robert Burgess, David Smith, Lewis Gray, Jake Holmes, Finley Davis and Fraser Tetlow. And the reserves in that one, James Gordon and Fraser McIntosh. And assuming we've still got a bit of a gap, I can also update you on where we are with team points, because there's a team competition going on here between the Scottish clubs. So it's Geary in 10th place, 116 points. Dumfries just ahead of them, 119. Then we've got South Lanarkshire. Oh, so we don't. We've got University of Aberdeen, 143. Then South Lanarkshire 177. Stirling Swimming going well, 191. So they're in 5th place. Aberdeen Dolphin just ahead of them in 6th Stirling. 5th Aberdeen Dolphin, 196 points. East Lothian just ahead of them in 4th, 203. Then it's Perth in the top 3, 228. Warren to second, 425. And leading it after 2 days of competition, it's City of Glasgow, 606 points for them. So they've got a pretty good lead. They did win this event last year, top team, looking to retain that trophy. Not quite sure what the delay is here, but obviously something fairly significant here because the swimmers are right back. Oh, dear, some shaking their heads here. I don't know about that. Don't worry, boys, it'll be fine.
Is that a little Meet Mobile look up there to try and find something? It's not refreshing. What's going on?
Yeah. So yes, and a reminder, of course, that you can follow all the results on Meet Mobile and also on Swim Scotland, the website, www.swimscotland.org.uk. So check out all the results. But don't do that on your device that you're watching us, because we'd much rather have your company here. So find another device and keep abreast with all the results. Not quite sure what the problem is here. I don't see any activity going on around the pool. So maybe there is a problem with the electronics somewhere. I don't know. Let's see. Hopefully we will be back up and running pretty quickly. So still got a little bit of 200 butterfly to go. Oh, here comes the...
So we might be seeing a little bit of action here from earlier, possibly, if we're going to be delayed further. But yeah, you don't want to be delayed at any time, do you? But especially not before a 200 fly.
So our production staff have pulled together this little snippets of what we've seen so far this morning. Some of the 50 frees there cracking off. Just see the pace there. Was that speeded up, or are they really going that fast? Certainly looks pretty fast, doesn't it? Normal speed.
Ooh.
Terrific stuff. Oh, 3/4 speed I'm hearing. Slowed down.
I thought it was a
some
slower
nice
stroke.
snippets for you as we wait to see what's going on. So Sean Dawson, one of our loyal team of Scottish swimming staff, but also a stalwart volunteer going fishing here.
What have they found in the water?
I don't think we want to talk about what's in the water. But I'm sure they'll get it sorted just as quickly as they can. The swimmers, of course, have to keep themselves warm, nice and relaxed. And so this is going to hold us back a little bit this morning. So apologies for that. Chance maybe to quickly get yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or even do some work. If you're at work watching this, you could do some work for a little bit. Why not?
I'm sure they've not got us muted, Duncan. You know, they can hear every word. I was doing the same myself the last couple of days, a little bit of work from home. Yeah. I was not muting Robert and Lynn. No, I wasn't.
Who would want to mute them?
No.
Fine voices of Scottish swimming.
I had them up full blast.
Nice to see Lerwick and Shetland working together there, our two clubs. Oh, well, I think we have Delting Dolphins as well here from further up Shetland mainland. But, so I think we're just about ready to go. We've got to start this back up, and the swimmers are starting to get themselves organised to go. So just a reminder, we've got Heat 3 coming up now. The line up there for you. Erica Watt of Hearts in 0. Freya Masson of Shetland in 1. Just talking about them. Rosie Liston, City Glasgow in 2. Emma Silcock of First in 3. Kirsty Breakin of Aberdeen Dolphin in 4. Rosie Heaps, another full house swimmer, in 5. Georgia Reid, City of Glasgow in 6. Emma Finlay of East Lothian in 7. Kira Pemble of Best in 8. And Kira Bain, Highland in lane 9.
These girls have been very eager to go by the time that started. Good start in lane 4. Kirsty Breakin, Aberdeen Dolphins. Well, pretty close right the way across the pool, these early stages.
Yeah, they certainly are. I think you're right to call Kirsty Breakin perhaps as just edging it, but it's very, very close. Beside her in lane 5, Rosie Heaps, so another full-test swimmer looking good. Lane 8 up there, Kira Pemble. Rosie Liston in lane 2, but it was Kirsty Breakin just by 300s turning first. You think that delay shouldn't really affect them. I think they'll probably just have had time to just think through their race strategy. And pushing on is the City of Glasgow swimmer, Rosie Liston, and also her teammate Georgia Reid in lane 6.
Yeah, these two girls have just moved through the paces of that last 20 metres or so.
Not much to choose between the two of them at the halfway mark. Rosie just getting the touch, 1:12.77. Not as fast as the previous heat at the halfway point, so Macy Carter's time was 1:12.0. So we'll see whether they pick it up in the second half. Can Rosie Heaps come through and make it 3 Foldhouse wins in a row? She's got some work to do if she's going to do that from lane 5. Quite a way back on the 2 Glasgow swimmers at the moment.
Georgia Reid and Rosie Liston really locked together, going under the flags. And we'll see who touches first. There's Rosie Liston, 1:54.87 at the 150 mark, so almost a second in it now between Rosie Liston and Georgia Reid. We'll see who's got the most in the tank and the strength as they come towards the last part of this race.
Not mentioned Kira Bain, but she's going nicely up in lane 9, the Highland swimmer. Second in North District age groups, so she's looking good for 3rd place behind the 2 from Glasgow. And they looks like it is going to be Rosie Liston, who's had the lead throughout, is going to hold that into the finish. And she does. 2:38.09 for her. So she's inside her own time by 4/10.
She'll be pleased with that for a heat swim. Looked very strong from the outset and held on all the way through it. It will let up. So Rosie and Georgia will be into the we'll be trying to get into the respective finals. We'll see if it's good enough as we move on to the next heat, heat 4. So for this one in lane 0, it's Casey Drummond from Incas, 1 Gemma Brown Carnegie, 2 Emma Craney Cumbernauld. And then we have 3 City of Glasgow swimmers in 3, 4 and 5. Hannah Willis, Stella McCarty, Heidi Wren. Lane 6, Kirsty Gilmore, South Lanarkshire. 7, Leila Weatherspoon, Heart of Midlothian. 8, Lucy de Grossa from Best. And 9, Milana Lau from South Aberdeen. And it's really close between lanes 3, 4 and 5. So the 3 City of Glasgow swimmers, Hannah Willis, Stella McCarty, Heidi Wren, all off to good starts.
Yep, so the focus seems to have moved west from Foldhouse to Glasgow. We had a twosome in the last heat. Now we've got a trio headed by Stella McCarty. Hannah Willis guesting really for City of Glasgow, based in Peterborough, member of the Scottish Performance setup. So nice to see her representing a Scottish club here. But at the turn it was Stella McCarty with the early lead. The pacing quite a bit faster than the previous heats, and the 3 swimmers really lined up nicely. It is the seeded swimmer Stella McCarty who's got the edge in lane 4, but not by too much. 34 hundredths from Hannah Willis, and Heidi Wren right there as well. 109.36, 3 and a bit seconds faster than the previous heat.
Stella McCarthy, Hannah Willis, both competing for the same final. So the 17-18 category, Heidi Wren, 16-year-old. Yeah, all three swimmers looking strong. But it is Stella McCarthy now opening up a bit of water between her and the other two.
Stella won this event last year, so she'll be looking to do that again tonight. 146.76 now, has a lead of 2 seconds, so she's starting to look pretty good for this, to see off her teammates, and the three starting to separate out now, with Hannah Willis looking set for second and Heidi Wren in third. We'll see if anybody can catch Heidi. Most likely, I think, Kirsty Gilmore in lane 6, and she is making ground on Heidi Wren here. You see there in lanes 5 and 6, but no doubt about first and second. Stella McCarty looking really strong here. Entry time 2:21, so around 3 seconds away from that. 2:24.65, but good solid heat swim from her. Then Hannah Willis, 2:28 for her. She was entered 2:25, so again just 3 seconds or so away. And it was Kirsty Gilmore who came through in the end pretty comfortably ahead of Heidi Wren. So she takes third.
Yeah, Kirsty coming through really strong at the end. Heidi just tying up a little bit. But, as we move on to heat 5 of 6.
So fortunately we've got the emergency button, I think, has been pressed. We're getting the automated signal coming across the pool, so it looks like we've got another delay here. Swimmers taken off the blocks. Unfortunate timing just at the start. So we just need to wait to get this sorted. You never know whether it's for real or whether somebody just pressed the button by accident around the pool side. Hopefully it's the latter, as the swimmers make their way out of the pool. Pool staff will respond to this. See there, one of the staff trying to get through to that phone and that button, that red button. There we go. Turn that round.
Yeah, has it worked? Not quite.
A bit of radio work going on to try and sort it out. It does look like well, they're working on it, but it's still going on. So another delay. This 200 fly is a little bit blighted by a delay. Or red-shirted pool staff going about their business. So of course there is always the chance that there is something going on that needs to be attended to. So you have to take them seriously. It looks like we're over it though now. They have sorted it. I think we are good to go again.
I didn't fancy an evacuation there, Duncan. I'm sure the swimmers even less so. But thankfully we're back on track. So on to heat 5. Lane 0, Ellen Denny, Geary. 1, Eva Gordon, Stirling Swim. 2, Lexi McCappin first. 3, Ola McInnes, Heart of Midlothian. 4, Holly McGill, Heart of Midlothian. 5, Madison Cool, Bucky. 6, Jessica Heaps from Fauldhouse. 7, Megan Donovan from County Peterborough. 8, Alicia Goodbrand from Ethan. And 9, Tia Aitken from University of Aberdeen Performance. Start from Madison Cool with the Bucky swimmer at lane 5. Alongside her, Holly McGill going well, but there's a few other swimmers in it as well. Over in lane 8, Alicia Goodbrand. So Madison Cool, Holly McGill, Jessica Heaps, that's the 1, 2, 3 after the first 50. 32.17.
So the previous heat started off pretty tight between the 3 Glasgow swimmers, and then it opened up in the second half. So we'll see whether this does the same. But at the moment, Holly McGill, mainly known as a backstroker, but she was the silver medalist in this event last year, so she does have some butterfly form to her name, also East District age group champion. And she will take them through the 100, having gone past Madison Cool in that 50. 1:09.04 for her, around 3/10 faster than the previous heat. So she is pushing this one quite hard, actually, Holly. She swam the backstroke events last week in Sheffield, a finalist in the 200 back, just out of the medals. That's her signature event, of course, was representing Scotland in the Commonwealth Games in that. So this is a chance for her to give some of her other events a go, and she's taking full advantage of that here. Around about 3 meters clear, 1:47.50, but the pace has dropped compared with Stella's time. You can see there 38.4. She's still pacing faster than anybody else in the pool, with a pretty close contest now for second. Madison Cool, Jessica Heaps, another of the Fauldhouse crew, and it's Jessica who's moved into second in lane 6. Lane 3, Orla McInnes of Hart, so 2 Hart swimmers involved, first and fourth. No doubt about the first, but still a bit of a battle for second going on as Holly McGill leads them in. Time of 2:26.52. It is Jessica Heaps in second, 2:29.84 for her. Madison Cool in third in 2:30. So 2:26.52. So, as I said, not as fast as Stella McCarty in the previous heat, but certainly will have a decent lane in the final tonight. There's your summary.
Stella and Holly going into the same final, so that'll be a good race later on.
So heat number 6, our last heat of the girls 200 butterfly. We'll be glad to get through this, so hopefully none of the other heats will be subject to delays. Looks like we do have an empty lane for the first time this morning. That's lane 2. So the lineup here is Libby Doubleday, University of Stirling in 0. Lauren Anderson in 1 for West Lothian. Nuala Gow of Keary in 3. Then 3 Stirling swimmers. Coco Croxford in 4. Susie McNair in 5. Isabel Wood in 6. Helen Stoddart goes for East Lothian in 7. Zara Innes of Carnegie in 8. Alice Cumming in lane 9 for City of Glasgow. Strong start in 7, Helen Stoddart. She is a butterfly sprint specialist, so I wonder whether she can hold this, but in fact it's lane 4 now, getting into a strike. Coco Croxford 2:1.70, fastest 50 split.
It was a cracker of a start there from Helen, right off the blocks. Oh yeah, Coco is drawn her in and overtaken, and now she's moving ahead. Nuala Gow as well in lane 3 is moving up. So it's pretty close for second between Nuala Gow and Isabel Wood, with Coco Croxford now in front.
Yeah, Nuala Gow, of course we saw her in that dead heat in the 50 breaststroke on Wednesday night, and then she got a gold all to herself in the 200 last night. So probably breaststroke her main event, but going nicely in the fly here. 1:09.69, the halfway split now for Coco. So the 3-seeded heats, this is the slower of the 3 at the moment. Again, I don't think you want to read too much into that, because they'll all be confident of a place in a decent lane in the final, and that's when the real battle commences.
Coco a 2:20.4 entry. And she's looking good at the moment. She's, again, one of these swimmers that seems to be good at various events. She picked up silver in the 400 individual medley and also the 200 back. But she's looking very strong in this event, well clear of the rest now.
Yep, smashing it, I think, is the technical phrase.
That's the one.
7-8 meters up now from Nuala Gow. Good race going on for third, though, in lanes 5 and 6. That's Susie McNair and Isabel Wood, the 2 Stirling swim colleagues. We'll see them come into shot shortly as Coco comes in 2:25.01. It will be Nuala Gow for second. Who's going to get third? It looks like it's going to go to Susie McNair. In the end by half a second, 2:33.40. Just getting the pace down that last 50 compared with Isabel, but I'm sure we'll see both of them in their finals. Susie in the 16s and Isabel in the 17-18s. We'll confirm that shortly. So Coco Croxford then 2:25.01. But the fastest overall, Stella McCarty, 2:24.65 for her. So she'll have lane 4 in the 17-18 final as we scroll through all the other swimmers.
Yeah, well done to all the girls there with all these interruptions as well as having a 200 fly. A lot to contend with there. But some great swims going in. There should be some cracking finals this evening.
Yep. Certainly will be. Now we go to 1500 freestyle. So we have 2 heats for you here. As you can see, full lineups. So the lineup for the first heat: Tom Jeffords for Ren 96 in 0, Dean Bargatti of South Lanarkshire in 1, Gregor Skinner of First in 2, Zach Slater of East Lothian in 3, James Boddy of Geary in 4, Thomas Traynor of South Lanarkshire in 5, Connor Stewart, Stirling Swim in 6, Gregor Ross, City of Glasgow in 7, Toby Bullock, Midlothian in 8, and Innes Gow of Geary in lane 9. The range of entry time 17:24. James Boddy has the fastest entry time, and his teammate Innes Gow the slowest, 18:35. So over a minute on paper separating them. So you would expect them to spread out quite a bit as this race progresses. It is James Boddy who is leading early on.
Yeah, James took silver in the 400 free, so see how he does in the 1500, able to adapt to both distances, it seems. But James just a little bit ahead at the moment of Thomas Traynor. There's really not much in it, but half a body length between them. So James Boddy from Geary, up there in Geary, Thomas Traynor from South Lanarkshire.
That's the Geary Club based in Inverary, so just north of Aberdeen. And they have developed a reputation in the last 2 or 3 years, really since lockdown I suppose, for producing distance swimmers. James Boddy, one of them. Silver medalist last year, winner in the Scottish Summer Meet. Went over to Northern Ireland, top 10 performance at the McCullough Meet, high quality meet held in Bangor in Northern Ireland. 7th fastest junior as well at the Edinburgh International. So he's done this quite a bit, knows how to swim it. 2:11.10 at the 200. So that is pacing around the 69 sort of territory, a bit less, 68 and a bit.
Yeah, I just noticed that previous 50 just sped up a little bit on his split there, so maybe just trying to shake off Thomas there in the early stages to get more comfortable, but that's not happening quite yet. Obviously, it's a long way to go.
Yeah, Thomas Traynor from South Lanarkshire, another programme that has a reputation for producing distance swimmers. He actually did a 17:08 at Edinburgh in the Edinburgh International, compared with his 17:27 entry time here, so he could have used that time to enter here. So I wonder why he didn't, but on paper, based on that time, he would be faster than James Boddy. At the moment, just a body length behind. These two pulling away from the 3rd place contest in lane 7. It is Gregor Ross just ahead of Connor Stewart in lane 6 and Gregor Skinner in lane 2. So that's your order through the 300. James then 3:20.39. Around 69 and a bit there. Still has Thomas right there with him. So they are pretty much pacing at the same speed. Third now, with a little bit of water over the others, is Gregor Ross in lane 7, but again a fairly tight three-way contest for third.
Gregor's the leading 15-year-old at the moment. So there's Tom, Dean, Gregor, Toby and Innes all swimming for the 15 prize.
Yes, looking at the second heat, we've got one more 15-year-old to come, so top two 15-year-olds in this heat are guaranteed medals.
Yep.
And we've only got one more 16-year-old as well. And we've got two 16-year-olds in this one, so everyone gets a medal.
Yeah, oh, actually 3. Zach Slater, James Body, Thomas Trainer.
Who am I missing? Yeah, I am missing. I was missing Thomas, I think. And he's doing rather well, so that was very foolish of me.
No. It's not like you, Duncan. So again, 2 of these 3 swimmers guaranteed the medal. So Thomas Trainer, James Body looking very good at the moment. And I suppose in this kind of distance event, it helps to have someone alongside you, I'd imagine, rather than swimming out on your own.
Yes, you would think so. We had that superb 400 freestyle at the end of last night's racing, Finn Drysdale and Luke Hornsey, and they, I'm sure, forced themselves on to times that they wouldn't have achieved without each other's company. Luke Hornsey just edging it in the end. Been a real thriller to finish off day 2.
Yeah, that was a great race.
5:38.78 then. So we're sticking on these 69s pretty nicely here, with the 2 of them still tracking each other. Nice to get that close in shot showing both of them. Quite often in a 1500 you're focusing on just the one swimmer, but here we can see the 2. Maybe the gap just increasing a little bit now. We'll get the pacings for this 50 coming up here. So you can see 35.0 for James, 35.1 for Thomas. So he did pick up a 10th there. And of course these 10ths add up as the race progresses on a 30-length race. Still tight for third. You can see there on the right of your screen, Gregor Ross and Ewan Jones, and coming into shot there now in lane 2. Greg Skinner still in the mix as well. So get a nice concept with this wide shot of the pool as to where everybody is. 6:48.42. Another 69 and change, but probably a bit nearer the 70 than we have been. Definitely feels like James Body now starting to stretch his lead.
Yeah, this must be part of his race plan, possibly to stretch out after the 500 mark, but yeah, he's definitely opened up a little bit of water now between himself and Thomas.
So you can see there 34.7 against 35.4, so while they were tenths of a second different, and now what, 3/4 of a second different in that lap. So James now, I think, is really starting to stretch. He's now going to, looks like he's going to have to do it on his own for the remainder of the race unless something strange happens. So this is coming up to 700 now.
Great battle going on second between the Gregors at the moment. Gregor Ross, Gregor Skinner. Third place.
Through the turn, 7:57, 7:4. So back down into low 69 territory, so that's good for James. So he's maintaining that pace. So you can see Gregor Ross there on the left of your screen. Gregor Skinner just out of shot as we lose Gregor Ross as well now. But watch out for them when we go through the turn here. We should see them coming up. There you can see Gregor Skinner. And there you can see Gregor Ross, so you can see still very close between the 2 of them.
It's about 5 seconds difference in entry between these boys. So Gregor Skinner slightly quicker on entry time, but Gregor Ross is the one that's in front just now, so it'll be interesting to see how that progresses. But yeah, looking really good at the moment. James Boddy, geary swimmer, again stretching out a little bit further. Be interesting to see the splits. So 34.7 versus 35.4. It's about 0.7 seconds again gain on that previous 50 metres from James over Thomas. So just nudging ahead with every 50.
Yeah, it's certainly looking good for James now. See if he can hold on to his pace. We do now have the results through for the women's 200 butterfly. It's in the 15-year-olds. I can tell you it's Coco Croxford, Madison Cool, Macy Carty, Ellen Denny, Layla Weatherspoon, Kirsty Breakin, Alice Cumming, Rosie Heaps, Kaylin Chan and Kira Gregg that make it through into the final. Angelika Samovalova and Emma Silcock, the reserves. And in the 16s, finalists Orla McInnes, Susie McNair, Eva Gordon, Tia Aitken, Heidi Wren, Zara Innes, Rosie Liston, Gemma Brown, Lauren Anderson and Megan Donovan. And reserves Abby Barnstable and Caitlin Urquhart. And in the 17-18s, the finalists are Stella McCarty, Holly McGill, Hannah Willis, Jessica Heaps, Nuala Gow, Isabel Wood, Kirsty Gilmore, Alyssa Goodbrand, Lexine McCappin and Emma Creaney. Just missing out Georgia Reed and Lucy DeGrossa. So that brings you up to date in terms of finalists. Of course, no finalists for this one. They're going to do it here. Nice closing shot through the turn for James. 10.52 at the 9.50. 35.0. So the pace just dropping down to the 110 territory now. So we have been in the 68s, then we went to the 69s, and now to the 70. Leads continue to stretch out. So going through the 50-meter markers, Thomas went through the halfway marker, so that it signifies about a 10-meter gap. Just to give you your distances, I'm sure most of you know this, but those red markers, 5 meters at each end of the pool. Then you've got those red marks at 15 meters down the pool, and you've got the bit wider red marks at the halfway mark, 25 meters, and then you do the same again at the other end, so 15 minutes away from the turn, and then into the red zone and under the flags, which are also at 5 meters, into the turn. So that's your geography. So 35.5, so the pace continuing to drop a bit.
So 12 second gap over 15 meters. Just going by these calculations, Duncan, of the pool. Just over a second a meter at the moment.
So this is 1,000 meters now that they've completed. 1,100, my apologies. Must have missed one somewhere along the line. 12:37.80. So I think we are in sort of 70-second pace now.
I think Thomas has pulled that in slightly over the previous 50 meters.
To give a chance to just think about predictions as to what their times might be. James Bonney entered 17.24. If he can keep this pace, I think he's going to be maybe 7 or 8 seconds inside that. And Thomas trainer. So as I said, entered 17.27. He's probably in that sort of pace. As I said, he did a 17.08, but I don't think he's going to match that today. And maybe that's why they didn't use that time to enter him, that if he wasn't on that sort of form at the moment.
I was just looking, Duncan, you were just doing that off the top of your head as well. That's pretty impressive. these time estimations. You've obviously done this for a little while.
Well, it does make it easier when they're doing 110s because you can cope with that much better than if they were doing 107s or something like that. So thanks, James. Keep this pace going, make the commentators' life easier.
That's right. Still a bit of maths to be done, but yeah, it's looking strong at the moment. Again, it's just speeding up a little bit, but 34.5 seconds over that last 50 there. And we'll see what this one is. 35, so just dropping the pace a touch.
Sometimes definitely swimmers feel that they can swim faster going in one direction than the other. And sometimes there is currents in the pool, but there shouldn't be. It should be still water. And then it becomes almost a mind game. One way's uphill, one way's downhill.
Yeah, I think Robert said that yesterday. He's going uphill and then he's going downhill. But I wasn't I wasn't quite sure about that one, but yeah, it could be right. Because again, that's quicker, a second quicker. That must be the downhill way. Going from our right on screen to left. Certainly for James. I'm not getting split there for Thomas in second. Possibly a soft touch on that board there. Maybe we're just not getting it on our screen.
So we are getting towards the closing stages now, just 3 lengths to go. 35.3 there, 15.32. So again, do the maths. And we are looking at hopefully something under 17.20. See, as we come up to the bell, we'll get another check on that. Would expect him to find some extra pace, certainly in the last length, if not the second last one. And he goes through there, 34.3, 16.06.
Definitely PB territory for James.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So if he was to do a 110, that would be 17.16, and I would think he probably will go a couple of seconds faster than that.
Yeah.
Maybe to get to a 17.14. So this has been a very solid swim. He had company for the first few 100 meters. Since then, he's been on his own. So final turn, 16.41, a 34.6 there. Now let's see if he can really get that head down and push on hard down these final few lengths as we just watch the swimmers coming up. And interesting that Thomas Traynor is being caught by the other two. I don't think they'll get to him in this last length, but it's certainly a lot closer than it was. But here comes James Body into the final 5 meters. See the clock just into the 17 teens. So nice stuff. Looked like about 17.13 there. 17.15 coming up on the clock, but I think that will be adjusted. That looked like that was behind when he actually touched. Now look at this. Wow, there's been a huge comeback from Gregor Skinner. Can he get second? Oh, so close. So close.
I think he was just nudged out.
Yeah.
We'll find out shortly.
It looked like it. I think Thomas Traynor just edged second, but well, really close after 17 and a half minutes of swimming. As our remainder swimmers come in. So we do have an official time now on the board here in the venue for James, 17:13.54. Still waiting for a time for Thomas to come up. We think he managed to hang on to second. That's what we're predicting up here. And I think that is now coming up on the board in the venue. 17:34.71 I'm seeing against 17:34.78 for Gregor. 700 after 17 and a half minutes of swimming. Wow,
that was close.
Gregor Ross only a second or so behind. So good stuff from those guys.
Very exciting finish there. And that's James guaranteed at least a silver medal, because there's only one 16-year-old swimming in the final heat. Second and final heat of the 1500. So across the pool for this one, in lane 0, Fraser Tetlow from Geary, 1 Kai Connolly, City of Glasgow, 2 Jack Simpson, South Lanarkshire, 3 Scott Fleming, also South Lanarkshire, 4 Finn Drysdale, Perth City, 5 Luke Hornsey, East Lothian, 6 Ben McLaughlin from Geary, 7 William Shepherd, Perth City, 8 Kyle Mitchell, Geary, and 9 Oscar Chirnside, Geary. So 3 Geary swimmers in this one, 2 South Lanarkshire. So we'll see what these swimmers can do. James Body, 17:13.54 was that? I think it was in the previous heat. As the winning time, 16-year-old. This one we've got a mixture of ages. So Kai Connolly is our only 16-year-old here. Oscar Chirnside is our only 15-year-old. And all the other swimmers in the 17-18 category. So a few different races or events being swum for in this one final heat. So after the 100 metre mark, fast start there from Finn Drysdale, just over the minute. 1 minute 61. Scott Fleming 1 minute 63 right next to him. So they're both swimming in the 17-18 category. So Scott Fleming in 3, Finn Drysdale in 4.
Yeah, Luke Hornsey up there as well. And he was 1:00.83, so he was close as well. And we were talking about that 400 freestyle between Finn and Luke last night. In that race, Scott Fleming was a little bit behind those two. And as I said, it was eventually won by Luke, who now just edges into the lead here. But you saw that Luke actually withdrew from that race earlier, the breaststroke race, obviously focusing on this one. So this is, I think, lining up to be a cracker. As we come to 200, the 3 swimmers will be eyeing each other, want to keep their pace going. They'll have their race strategies that they'll have discussed with their coaches beforehand. Now it's about execution. We're pacing around the 65 mark. And you can't really separate the 3 of them at the moment. On his own in 4th place in the yellow cap, Ben McLaughlin. So he is also in the 17-18 age group. So as Stuart said, the 116-year-old Kai Connolly, the 115-year-old Oscar Chirnside, and all the others battling for the medals in the 17-18s. But looks like the medals are going to go to this trio at the front of the race. The question will be, who's going to get which one?
Yeah, before that turn there, you could throw a blanket over all 3 of them. Slight bit of separation now, not much, but looks like Finn Drysdale just nudging a fraction ahead of the other 2. We'll soon find out. Well, that's actually Luke Hornsey. Must have got his feet in that board first. So Luke Hornsey, Finn Drysdale, Scott Fleming, but really nothing between the 3 swimmers in these early stages.
Yeah, so pacing in the high-ish 32s for that last length. Scott perhaps a metre or so behind the other 2 now, so he will need to just pick it up a little bit just to stay with them. Again, we'll get the lap times, 33.4 for Luke, 33.6 for Finn, 33.4 for Scott, so Scott is sticking there. And then we've got Ben McLaughlin still on his own in 4th place, ahead of William Shepherd in lane 7, the Perth swimmer. Finn Drysdale swimming for Perth. He's another one who's guesting for his Perth club here. Swims with Royal Wolverhampton School in England. Just 500ths there. 4:18.01 at the 400.
And just 0.3 behind Scott as well, so he's certainly not going to let these boys go. He's a very good long distance freestyle swimmer as well, Scott. you said before, Duncan, they've got a great programme there. East Kilbride, especially over these distances.
Yeah, over the years, Luke and Scott have had many a battle at Scottish national age groups, and Finn Drysdale not so much, because we've not seen so much of him in Scotland, but that adds an extra dimension and a welcome extra dimension as well, because it'll really drive them on. It's so really important for, well, Britain, not just Scotland, but Britain, to develop some strong distance capability. We really, at a British context, only have Dan Jervis at the moment, the Welshman, up at any sort of high world level. He'll be going to Japan in the World Championship team, but there was nobody else really anywhere near him in the British Championships last week. So if these swimmers can develop over the next few years and become real pedigree, top quality distance swimmers, that's going to add such a strength to the British distance swimming ranks.
Absolutely. And of course, Finn will be looking for a little bit of revenge after being touched out yesterday.
Yes,
in the 400.
I'm sure that's right.
Yeah. He'll
have decided, right, what do I need to do to take the 1500 crown? Finn Drysdale was 7th in this event in the British Summer Championships last year. He actually then swam in a different age group from Luke Hornsey. He was also 7th in his event, in the same event. Luke did a 16:27 in Sheffield last week compared with his 16:30 entry time, so he'll be targeting to try and match or improve on that. He actually went faster last night in his 400 than he did last week in Sheffield, so if he could do the same here on the 1500, I think he'd be very pleased with his week's work.
Absolutely. So that just puts him a second difference between himself and Finn on entry. So this should be very close if it goes to paper.
And it's certainly going that way at the moment.
Scott as well, it's like synchronised turns there off that board.
400s.
Yeah.
7:05.10, 7:05.13, 7:05.14. I suppose it could be closer, but not really.
It's almost like a battle of wills, as well as stamina, strength, technique, everything.
Yeah, definitely.
The marathon of the pool events.
It looks like it is Scott Fleming. Maybe he was just going to turn first this time, is he? Really close again. Yes, it is Scott by 200ths. Again, just 500ths this time between them. So we're pacing now about 67, so the pace has dropped. They are quite a bit faster than the previous heat, as you'd expect, about 19 seconds at this stage. So there's certainly no doubt that these are going to be your three medalists. As we come down now to the halfway turn, 750 meters, 8:12.06. Luke Hornsey, well, that's the biggest lead we've seen for a while of 3600ths.
It's practically over already with that gap.
Well, that might be overstating it a little bit. And in fact, it's all closed up again now. So that certainly wasn't, or doesn't appear to be anything significant in terms of making a break. But, well, it's just the edge for Luke now. See what the gap is. Well, it's still around that, and similar gap to Scott Fleming. So certainly in terms of this race, it is widening a little bit. And Luke has upped his pace. That's under 67. They have been going a bit over 67. So he's now about 66.6, 66.7. So that little just pick up of pace of half a second or so per 100 is enough just to start to open up the gap. Scott and Finn a tenth apart, but now for the first time there's over a second gap, so Luke definitely making the move here. The others have to respond to this, I would think. They won't want Luke to get away from them.
No, they won't. But he's definitely. I would think this would be part of his race plan execution that he's putting into effect here. You'd have thought about this move beforehand. Possibly reacting, but it did look as if he upped the pace there a fair bit, and that's a 32.59 split there. That's another half a second up on the other two swimmers.
Yep, so Luke Hornsey, obviously the strategy was to get to halfway and then start to wind it up. You can see there the South Lanarkshire coach trying to encourage Scott in his battle with Finn, still for second place. Finn perhaps a metre up on Scott as they go through 9.50. So 10.23 for Luke, 10.25.6 and 10.25.9 for Finn and Scott. And you can see there we're starting the lapping process now. As you see that yellow cap there in lane 8, Kyle Mitchell getting lapped, or just about to anyway, as Luke Hornsey, so looking for his second freestyle gold after that 400 last night. 10.56.69.
Again, about a second gained over that previous 100. So he is moving up a gear.
Yeah, around about a 66 there.
So I think Scott there is just fighting here to keep in touch and pull up again on Finn. There's a right battle going on there.
So I was just trying to do a bit of mental maths there, and I think that Luke is potentially slightly inside the time he did last week in Sheffield. It's going to be close to it, I think, depending on whether he can sustain this pace. But he's certainly up there in that sort of pace. And, well, they're going to have to really push it now if they are to get back on him. The meters will start to run out. This is 1100, 12:02.20. So again, mid 65s. And again, a 32.7 there against 33.4s and 33.7s for the other two. So this is looking mighty good for Luke Hornsey now. Finn just starting to open up a little bit of a gap on Scott Fleming, getting the hurry up from his coach.
Yeah, you can see Scott just trying to dig in here, just to get back in contention for second. Luke looking very strong here. Difficult to see Luke being caught. 3:50 to go, so still a decent distance, but he does look very strong. And Finn now open up a little bit of water between himself and Scott Fleming off that turn. He's just kicking on through this 50.
Just checking out where the younger swimmers are. Oscar Chensai currently sitting in 6th place in lane 9, the 15-year-old, so he's going pretty well. And towards the back, Kai Connolly. But at the front, still very much with Luke Hornsey, 13.07. So 65.5 there. So he is winding the pace up even more now. So looking very strong indeed.
So Kai Connolly has to aim for 13.54. That's his target to take the gold in the 16-year-old category.
Yep, so we'll check that one out. In the 16-year-olds, James Body's 17.13 is the target. There we get a nice shot of Luke.
So did I say 12.13? I meant 17.
So that's sort of 8-9 meter advantage now. This is looking pretty much a done deal now. Certainly wasn't for the first half of the race, but the second half has made quite a difference, and I think Finn now is pretty much secure for the silver. Scott Fleming put in a mighty effort. On paper, he was 11 seconds back on Finn, and he's certainly going to be less than 11 seconds back on him in the pool. But Luke Hornsey, 32.9, 33.2 for Finn. So continuing to widen this gap. It'll be the coming down to 1,400 meters. So it'll be the bell next time.
So what do we reckon, about 16:27 is the PB for Luke?
I think it's going to be inside that. I think we might be looking at pretty close to 16:23 maybe, something like that. 15:19.83 with 100 to go.
Looks like a fairly clear 1, 2, 3, so we just have to keep an eye on times. I see a good 50 metres going in here by Finn Drysdale. He's really digging in now and I think making up some ground on Luke at the front.
So 32.6 for his penultimate length for Luke. That's 33.10. So
just looked that way from here, but not quite.
Thought you went to clean your glasses before our session.
Must have changed my wipes.
So yes, Luke Hornsey then, final 10 metres. It's been another great race. As I said, he did a 16.26 in Sheffield. He's inside that, so brilliant stuff from the East Lothian man. 16.23.20. I think he'll be thrilled with that. Finn Drysdale's 16.30, so pretty close to his entry time, 16.30.65. Scott Fleming 16.36.58 inside his entry time, but not quite as fast as he did in Sheffield, but a good solid swim from him. I said he would be less than 11 seconds behind Finn, and he certainly was. He was 6 seconds back. The remaining swimmers come in. Ben McLaughlin in 4th place, so he's in the 17-18 age group. He just misses out on the medals. Well, I say just misses out by 20 seconds, but 4th place, you know what I mean. William Shepherd, 17.04. So waiting for the first of the younger swimmers to come in.
Looks like,
I think that's going to be Oscar. Here he is, 17.19.14. So in the 15 age group, that will give him the gold. And we'll just wait for the 16-year-old Kai Connolly.
well, it's 17.13 set by James Bodie, so he's not going to make that time.
Yep, he's looking a little weary in lane 1 as he will just come into your shot now. So his time 17.26. So looking at that, I think that will be silver for Kai in the 16 age group. James Bodie will take the gold from the first heat in that one, and Thomas Traynor the bronze. And in the 15s, as I said, it will be Oscar Churnside the winner, Gregor Ross the silver, and Toby Bullitt the bronze. And in the 17-18s, it was Luke Hornsey, Finn Drysdale, and Scott Fleming. So we have a swim off for you now. And this is for a reserve slot in the 200 backstroke. I think it's to separate the swimmers who were the reserves. So line up Caleb Geddes, Bellshill against Max Turnbull of Midlothian.
So both 2:27.45 in their heat swims. And they are fairly close together, but a slightly better start there from Max Turnbull, Midlothian swimmer in the green cap. Caleb Geddes in the red there from Bells Hill. So we'll see what the tactics are. These boys, as time progresses, never an easy thing to have a swim off, just two swimmers in the water. But it gives them a chance to be first reserve, going into that final later.
Actually, second reserve. I think this is a battle for 12th spot. So
okay. I stand corrected.
Second reserve, but they're pretty close. Very often swimmers go faster in the swim off than they did in the heat previously. And so it's a great opportunity to pick up a PB. Very unlikely that they will get a swim tonight, but coaches always grab the opportunity to have a swim off when the offer is given to them. So at halfway mark, not much to choose between them, but Caleb Geddes has come through strongly in that second 50. 7/10 faster down that second length. So he's got the advantage, 1:10.78, but nice tidy turn from Max. So this is going to be a hard-fought contest, I think. Does look like Caleb has the advantage in the swim, and then maybe Max gets some back in the turn. See if that happens again at the 150 turn. It will be Caleb, I think, first into it. Yeah, clearly it will. He's up by about a metre.
Caleb's got a quicker stroke rate. So Max relying more on underwater power, but maybe that'll speed up on the last length.
Yeah, he's certainly got some work to do down this last length if he is to catch Caleb. And looks like Caleb is holding that metre lead pretty steady at the moment. So Max, I think, is going to run out of pull time past the 15-metre markers. Both of them pushing on hard, but it looks like it's going to be a Bells Hill victory in this swim-off by about a metre, as it had been really for about the last 60, 70 metres. So 2:25.61 and 2:26.01, and guess what? Faster for both of them than they were earlier on. So good swims, and I think they'd be happy with the times they achieved there. And congratulations to Caleb for making it.
Yeah, often the way in swim-offs, isn't it? They swim quicker than they did in the natural heat. I wonder why that is.
I guess it's just that adrenaline of going in a head-to-head. You know it's going to be close. You were at exactly the same times going into it, so you know you're going to have to push your real best to beat the other guy. They both gave it a good shot. They're both inside their heat times, but Caleb is getting it. So into relays. This is the girls 17 over 4x100 freestyle relay. We've got two heats here. 4 teams in the first heat. East Lothian, and they're headed off by Emma Finley. Highland with Kira Bain in 4. Geary in 5, headed off by Nuala Gow. And Eithan in 6 with Ella Chalmers. And it looks like maybe Eithan have the early lead here, but it's pretty close between the 4 swimmers. So freestyle relays, so it's all about freestyle speed here. So one more heat after this, and it is Eithan turning first, 31.22.
Eithan lead at the moment. Quickest entry is the Highland team. So, and Nuala Gow now moving up, and she's just nudging into the lead. Nuala Gow from Geary. So it's Geary in first, Eithan second, third place Highland, fourth East Lothian after leg 1. So Nuala Gow will hand over to Catherine Bodie. He'll take on the second leg for Geary. And Ethan second, it is Elisa Goodbrand. Highland, it's Faye Prosser, and East Lothian, Grace Harley. So
it's an Aberdeenshire battle. Geary from Inverurie, Eithan from pretty close to there. Trying to remember where Eithan trained. That's just gone from my brain at the moment. Somebody will tell me, I'm sure. CNC there, not much in the splits, 30.2, 30.4, but it just widens the gap a bit, a second and a half.
Very good race here from Catherine Body, who's just got an advantage over Lisa Goodbrand. So it's Geary Eithin coming up. Strong Leify Prosser from Highland as well. So she's coming up in lane 4. So she's battling for second place to put Highland up into second. So it's going to be very close for second at the halfway point. But Geary are out in front, who hand over now to Iona Leishman. So it's Iona Leishman for Geary, Elizabeth Morgan for Highland, Ailey Galt for Ethan, and Ailey Armstrong for East Lothian.
So can anybody catch the Geary team here? Certainly Ethan's Ailey Galt is working very hard there in the red cap in lane 6. We'll see on the splits here whether she's making any ground. 31.3, yes she is. 30.68. So the gap down just under 2 seconds at the 2:50.
Yeah, Ethan definitely making up ground on Geary here. In a clear second place now. Also battling back from 4th, East Lothian. So Ailey Armstrong having a good leg here. But it is still Geary in front. So Iona Leishman will hand over to Joanna Mackenzie for the anchor leg for Geary. So it's Geary in the lead. And Ethan second and Highland third.
So 2.5 seconds the gap. That's going to be tough to make up in this final 100. Swimmers in the water now. As you said, Joanna Mackenzie, Erin Curry for Eithin, Neve Carey for Highland, India Marshall for East Lothian, and it's Highland and East Lothian battling for third, with East Lothian just coming through, but the battle at the front is tightening up here.
Yeah.
So final turn, Geary's lead has shrunk considerably. It's down to about 6-7 tenths here. Can Eithin come through? They are just about stroke for stroke now, so Erin Curry putting in a terrific last length here, and she moves through. So Eithin have left the best till last, and they are moving up. Body length now up on Geary. East Lothian finishing strongly. Don't know that they're going to catch Geary, but they're going to get close. But it's Eithin take the win. 4:19.24, so that will be the target time for the second heat. Geary just hanging on for second ahead of East Lothian. 4:21.57, 4:21.76.
All changed up in that final leg, didn't it?
Certainly did.
Exciting.
It's Eithin.
So Erin Curry from Eithin takes that in the final leg. Fantastic final swim there. So we're on to heat 2 now in the relay. And lane 0 City of Glasgow, 1 Stirling Swim, 2 South Ayrshire, 3 Warren de Bass, 4 University of Aberdeen, 5 University of Stirling, 6 City of Glasgow, 7 Dundee City Aquatics, 8 Heart of Midlothian, 9 Woggai Bearsden. So leading off we have Ayla Cocken, Isabel Wood, Kira Sterica, Natasha Simpson, Galia Alcaraz, Gallup Ferris, Ella Stevenson, Morven Adams, Alice Mackey and Katie Caldwell for the respective teams. And it's a great start in lane 3 here for South Ayrshire, so Kira Sterica taking an early lead.
Yep, Kira going well. I think there's been a change in the Aberdeen team. It's actually Mary Mischenko that's in for them at the front of their race, just ahead of University of Stirling Scarlett Ferris, because we bring in some over 18s here, because this is the one opportunity to qualify for the British Summer Championships relays. So the 17 overs really is 17 overs. It's not 17-18 in this event. Some swimmers travelling to Aberdeen just for this one. So at the first changeover, 59.09, as you'd expect, faster than the previous heat. It's University of Aberdeen, so great lead off from Mary Mischenko. Hands over now to Gaia Alcaraz. In lane 5, it is Kira Morris for University of Stirling. Expect them to move up strongly. And a 3-way tussle for third, possibly lane 6, City of Glasgow with Kira Davidson ahead of Warrender and South Ayrshire, Katie Rose and Catherine Simpson. But at the front, it's an Aberdeen versus Stirling contest, the two university teams. About a second and a bit apart.
There's a great battle going on in the middle, isn't it, here? Between Aberdeen and Stirling. And moved into third now. It looks like it's City of Glasgow. So that's our 1, 2, 3 just now.
So the swimmers ready to take their turn, getting themselves set. Of course, these timing of those takeovers so important. Go too early and you're out of the race. Go too late and you've missed valuable tenths of seconds off your potential time. So on the third leg then, Yasmin Perry for University of Aberdeen, Vicky Russell, University of Stirling. Still in third place, City of Glasgow, Amy Shields in the water for them. And then it looks like it is lane 3, Warrender, with Alex Coy in fourth place. But University of Aberdeen Performance building on their lead, so this is a good third leg from Yasmin Perry, the butterfly specialist, but showing her abilities on freestyle here.
Very good leg in third here from City of Glasgow as well. Amy Shields moving right up there.
So the anchor swimmer then for University of Aberdeen is Marie Wood. For University of Stirling, it's Florence Tinsley. Now Florence, I think, will be faster than Marie, but will she be fast enough to get anywhere close? On the anchor for City of Glasgow is Drew Mackenzie, and she's going to be faster still, I think. So these three are going to close up, I think, in this final 100, but the gaps are quite wide, so it's asking a lot for anyone to catch University of Aberdeen. It's asking a lot for City of Glasgow to catch University of Stirling, although that could happen here. So let's see as we come down this final length. Can University of Aberdeen hold on to this lead? University of Stirling are closing in, but it is still more than a body length gap, 15 metres to go. Florence Tinsley is pushing hard here to try and catch Marie Wood, and the gap is closing with every stroke here. It's going to be on the touch at the finish. Oh, it's so close, but University of Aberdeen just hang on by 300ths of a second in the end, and City of Glasgow nearly got back. A massive deficit that Drew Mackenzie had going into the water, and she got so close there. Wow, what a finish to that race. 3:58.37, University of Aberdeen just edging it by the finest margins, 300th second. University of Stirling second, City of Glasgow third. You won't be surprised to know that those swimmers, those teams, all significantly faster than the first heat. What about that then, Stuart?
Yeah, that was an exciting finish. I'm glad you called that touch there. Yeah, just hanging on by her fingernails there at the end. Marie Wood at University of Aberdeen Performance.
So our final event of the morning, we stay with freestyle relay, and this is the 14 to 16 year olds. This time we've got 3 heats, and the lineup in this first heat: Highland, Dundee City Aquatic, Inverclyde and University of Aberdeen B team. And the lead-off swimmers: Caitlin Urquhart for Highland, Darcy Reid for Dundee, Abby McInerney for Inverclyde and Tia Aitken for University of Aberdeen B.
Yeah, 4 teams here, so it makes it slightly easier for us to commentate in this, although never completely easy, is it, in relays, but it's great fun, very exciting. Cracking start there by Highland team, so Caitlin Urquhart there. And lane 3, it's a really good start here. Quickest on entry here is Dundee City Aquatics in 4. So we'll see how it progresses. But it looks like Highland 1, University of Aberdeen Performance B in 2, and it's very close with third, the first 50. Dundee City Aquatics and Inverclyde. But yeah, Highland team way out in front here already. So Caitlin Urquhart, 16-year-old, doing very well.
Yep, certainly giving them a great start and not going with the seeding so far, but of course different tactics as to where to put your strongest swimmers. So traditionally you'll lead off with a pretty strong swimmer, but you want your strongest swimmer on the back end, and then maybe got your third and fourth rated swimmers in the middle of the relay, but it's possible to have different tactics to that. So 102.90 for Highland at the first changeover. Alison Wood now in for them, opening up a pretty healthy lead. Lucy Morgan for University of Aberdeen B, and then Anna Easton, Dundee City Aquatics, Lucy McLaughlin of Inverclyde just about together.
So far Highland looking very good. So we'll see if they put their two strongest swimmers at the start, or whether that's just they're just swimming extremely well, but they're given their 4:25 entry. Looking very good at the moment, way out in front. And it's really close now between second, third and fourth. Just edging it at the moment is University of Aberdeen Performance B. So Lucy Morgan there, just a fraction ahead of Lucy McLaughlin in Inverclyde.
Yeah, so a bit of a dogfight going on for second, but still Highland 2:09 dead with the lead.
It's actually Dundee that have edged into third. But Emily McDougall now for Highland, 14-year-old. She's taking this one on, and she's not hanging about either. And now the pink cap is coming through in lane 4. So D City Aquatics, Riley McIntosh, another 14-year-old. She looks good, and she's drawn up on the team from University of Aberdeen Performance. So that's Amber Littlejohn. And this leg for Inverclyde is Betty Fisher-Keogh.
So Highland still with the fastest length split there, 30.7, everyone else in the 31, so this lead continuing to increase. So certainly Emily doing her part for the Highland cause. Dundee City Aquatics now just about a body length up, so Riley McIntosh having a good shift for them. Is she closing a bit on Highland? I think she might be. We'll see whether the splits. Yes, in fact she was 34-1 against 35-6 there in the second half. Still about a 3-second lead though for Highland as the anchor swimmer goes, and that is Laura Shannon, and she's up against Isla Gilmurray. I think Dundee have certainly left their strongest swimmer to the end. Eddie Melrose for Inverclyde, Amber Edgerton for University of Aberdeen B. But I think it's only Dundee City Aquatics that have a chance of getting up to Highland, and they are giving it a go. You can see they're nearly 2 seconds faster, and they're only a second back now, so you have to start to fancy Dundee City Aquatics here, unless Highland, in the form of Laura Shannon, can just find something extra down this last length. She's continuing to just about hold off Dundee City Aquatics, but not for much longer, I don't think. Let's see as we come in, 10 metres to go. It's Dundee City Aquatics have come through, so Isla Gilmurray has done the job for them. She came back from quite a long way back and takes the win in 4:19.79. So excellent swim from her. You can see there 32-1 on her last length against 34s from everybody else.
Great anchor swim there from Isla Gilmurray, coming from behind and taking that one. So again, that's a couple of seconds quicker than their entry time. And so very strong relay performance here from Dundee. Highland also did very well. They came underneath their entry, didn't quite hang on there, just at the death to take the first spot in that heat. So on to heat 2 now. So we have from lane 0 through to 9, we have Carnegie, Fauldhouse, Aberdeen Dolphin, West Lothian first, Warrender B, South Ayrshire A, City Glasgow C, Mulgan Bearsden A, and City Glasgow D.
So off they go. Gemma Brown for Carnegie, Rosie Heaps for Fauldhouse, Isabella Abernethy for Aberdeen Dolphin, Lauren Anderson for West Lothian, Jessica Hill for first, Greta Samaska for Warrender B, Phoebe Murdoch for South Ayrshire, City Glasgow C led off by Anna Campbell. Margaux then have Joanna Calder and Ida Dobson for City Glasgow D. And it's lane 7, City of Glasgow C team, Anna Campbell, who's had a good meet, leads the way 30.23. Not quite as fast as the Highland team's first 50 from Heat 1. So we'll keep an eye on that as this race progresses. Going well down at the bottom of the pool is Gemma Brown for Carnegie, and next to her Rosie Heaps of Fauldhouse. She's just off her 200 fly, although they did have that 1500 freestyle in between, so I guess that's given them some recovery time. So not too much in it at the first changeover, but it is just City of Glasgow 103.72 by 600ths. Still not as fast as the previous heat.
Really close between Glasgow and Carnegie. Race is on here. Carnegie come right up in lane 0. So Zara Innes is taking on mantle for Carnegie. Next to her, Fauldhouse, Macy Carty, also looking very good, but still just in the lead is City of Glasgow C. Rosie Liston on this leg. No, sorry, it's Aberdeen Dolphin, I beg your pardon, in third place. But out in front here is City of Glasgow. So really good leg here by Rosie Liston, and securing that second spot and moving ahead of the rest of the field. It's pretty close for second place, looks like lane 1 possibly. That's Fauldhouse. We'll see as they turn, as they hand over.
207.
Completely wrong there, it's first and second.
Yep, 207.63 then. City of Glasgow C team leading the way, and they're now faster than the previous heat by about a second and a half. Can City of Glasgow hold on? Shows their strength in depth, able to field 4 relay teams in this age group, and look at the quality of their C team at the moment, leading comfortably in the second last heat. So 237.46, lead of 2.5 seconds from first, with Zoe Crawford, strong swimmer for first there. And beside them, lane 5, it's Zara Smith for Warrender B. So Warrender B moving into second place now. Zara Smith, probably best known as a breaststroker, but putting in good freestyle shift here and closing the gap a bit now on Alice Cumming for City of Glasgow. But it is still City of Glasgow with 100 to go, and Caris Mooney has the job of steering them home.
Caris Mooney, Alex Perry for Warrender, Caitlin Frame for first, and it looks like it will be another exciting finish here. But it is Caris Mooney looking pretty strong over this first stretch. Right battle going on for second place in the middle lanes between first and Warrender. Warrender just a fraction ahead at the moment. Going under the flags there into the final turn. So still City of Glasgow B, Warrender and first locked together there, and I think first have moved ahead now. So Caitlin Frame looking good here, moved into second place, and she's trying to move up there in first. I think she'll run out of pill for that though. So it will be City of Glasgow C who take this one.
Although Caitlin Frame is really pushing hard here. This isn't quite over yet. Surely City of Glasgow have got enough in hand, and they are going to bring it home. But a mighty effort from first there. Warrender just holding third from a fast finishing West Lothian. City of Glasgow 4:14 takes the win. That's confirmed there, 4:14.53. So really most of the way through that one. City of Glasgow C team in charge, and in the end worthy winners. 5 seconds faster than the previous heat. So one more heat to go this morning. It's going to be a good heat.
Yeah, we have from lanes 0 to 9, we have South Lanarkshire, University of Aberdeen Performance, Perth City, City of Glasgow, Warrender Baths, East Lothian, Heart of Midlothian, Dumfries, City of Glasgow B, and Stirling in lane 9. So this should be a really close one. Quickest team on paper, Warrender Baths, so it's Ashley Drake who leads them off. But really good start right across the middle here between lanes 3, 4, 5 and 6. So in 3 we have Heidi Wren for City of Glasgow, Ashley Drake for Warrender, Helen Stoddart for East Lothian, Leah Weatherspoon for Heart of Midlothian.
Yeah, to Glasgow Edinburgh 1-2 at the first turn. The advantage only by 500ths with Warrender. 28.95 against City of Glasgow's 29 dead. So those two just a bit ahead of the swimmers to their right. To come down towards the first changeover. Maybe lane 6, I think, in third place, Layla Weatherspoon for Hearts, just ahead of East Lothian's Helen Stoddart, but it's Warrender who are going to lead through the first changeover.
So it is Warrender, City of Glasgow. I think that's wrong on the board there. It's Warrender, City of Glasgow and Hearts. 1, 2, 3. After the first change, and a very good changeover there from Warrender. City of Glasgow as well, looking strong. So for Warrender here it is Rosie Foster, and for City of Glasgow, Freya Beaton. And in third place at the moment in lane 5 is Anna Lawson for East Lothian. So Warrender, City of Glasgow, East Lothian, 1, 2, 3.
They're just over half a second separating Warrender and City of Glasgow now. East Lothian doing their best to try and get into contention, but they're around 3 metres back. So it looks like it's going to be a Warrender, City of Glasgow battle. We've seen that quite a few times over the years. So as we come up to the halfway mark, it is going to be Warrender bringing it in to 01.71, the halfway mark. Needless to say, it's faster than the previous heats. Now it's Kiana Kurtzer for Warrender, it's Ellie Kennedy for City of Glasgow, it's Tegan Black for East Lothian. Coming up on East Lothian now in lane 7 is Dumfries. They've got Millie Colvin in the pool, so they are vying for a bronze medal here. Also keep your eye down at the bottom of your screen on South Lanarkshire with Addison Cole, but at the front still it is Warrender ahead of City of Glasgow, and that lead is increasing a bit. Well, I thought it was, although City of Glasgow split actually faster than Warrender, so hold that front page at the moment.
Looks as if City of Glasgow going to have to make up at least a second and a half, possibly 2 seconds in the last leg. Kiana Kurtzer moving ahead now, and she completes her leg for Warrender, looking very strong. But a good leg as well by Ellie Kennedy in Glasgow, and that's still our 1-2 here. So Warrender Bass, the final leg here is Phoebe Arbuckle, and the final leg for Glasgow, Louise Connell. And still not out of the picture there in 5, East Lothian, Zara Kravic.
Yeah, Lucy Atherton in for Hearts now, currently in 4th place, but this is looking mighty good for Warrender now. It's hard to see City of Glasgow catching them. It's probably pretty hard to see East Lothian catching City of Glasgow, but that's not quite out of the question because Zara Kravis is pacing quite a bit faster than Louise Connell. But Warrender surely are going to bring this one. Well, we saw a nail biter earlier, and that was another one there for the silver medal. City of Glasgow just hanging on there. You can see the relative speeds on that last 50. 31.91 for City of Glasgow, 30.7. But by 200ths, City of Glasgow just hang on to a silver medal.
What an exciting finish there, Louise Connell. I don't know how she managed that because Zara Kravic was coming through like a train. Well, she just held her off at the finish.
Brilliant way to finish our swimming. We do have medal presentations before we go off air, so do stay around for that. Hope you've enjoyed this morning's sessions, because we'll see all these finalists that have earned their place in the finals this morning swimming again today. As the nice little celebration there from Glasgow. There's our medals ready to be presented. So we'll be presenting for the 1500 freestyle first up, and after that it will be those relays. So it's going to be a good time to celebrate some good achievements. So just a little bit of a pause while the swimmers get themselves organised. Hopefully the 1500 boys have had time to recover during those relays, and they will be first up. Just a reminder that we will be back with our next session of swimming at 20 to 2. We'll come on air 5 minutes or so before that. And then the evening session again will be coming on air just a few minutes before our first race at 5:15. Don't you just love a frilly skirt on a male swimmer?
Yeah. Is he trying to get changed there, or just is that just the new fashion?
I think hopefully that's the new fashion. Certainly getting changed on poolside is a big no-no.
Yeah, I was thinking that. It's not a done thing, is it? Maybe just drying off a little bit.
So here come our medalists. So the medals in the 15-year-old age group, the bronze medalist going to Toby Bullock. It's the West District President, Jamie Nelson, making these presentations. And the 16-year-old bronze medalist is Kai Connolly. Oh, nice smile on Scott Fleming's face as he takes the bronze medal in the 17-18s, looking pretty cheerful with life.
Yeah, well earned in a 1500.
Silver medalists, Gregor Ross, City of Glasgow, for the 15-year-olds. Thomas Traynor from South Lanarkshire for the 16-year-olds. And the 17-18 age group, Finn Drysdale. And on to the gold medalist, the national age group champions. 15-year-old is Geary's Oscar Chernside. And his Geary teammate, James Boddy, is 16-year-old champion. So a nice Geary double golds there. And the 17-18 gold after that storming race, East Lothian's Luke Hornsey. So good stuff from our distance freestylers. We'll be watching their careers closely in the years to come.
Yeah, lots of great prospects there across the different age groups in the 1500 free.
It's good to see Geary really take their distance swimming really seriously, and South Lanarkshire, they had two on the podium there as well.
Yep.
So we go to the 17 over girls freestyle relay will be next up. No sign of them at the moment. Oh, we've got some swimmers
Still getting
here
their
for
breath
you.
back. Yep.
Looks like we're missing the bronze medalists. Come on, Warrender, where are you? Oh, there they are. Or one of them, two of them. Any advance on two? Doesn't look like it. So it will be Warrender getting the bronze medals. Oh, number three.
Who are they waiting on?
I think we could maybe go with three. Let's, I don't know, obviously waiting here for somebody who's a little slower than the others. Here she is.
Here we go.
Let's get dressed. So the Warrender team, Natasha Simpson, Katie Rose, Alex Coy, and Anna Green. I think they must have been away getting their faces painted for this presentation. That's why they were late.
Yeah. One of them not quite managing to get the team colours on, but close enough.
The silver medalist, City of Glasgow, A-team. And the quartet, Ella Stevenson, Kira Davidson, Amy Shields, and Drew McKenzie with that storming last leg.
It's nice seeing the relay teams getting medals. Swimming's quite a lonely sport a lot of the time. Suddenly when it becomes a team sport, it's good to watch, isn't it?
Face. So the gold medalists and champions, Mary Mischenko, Gaia Alcaraz, Yasmin Perry and Marie Wood, representing University of Aberdeen Performance.
Gaia Alcaraz and Yasmin Perry, the Scottish National League champions.
So that was another one, Marie Wood just hanging on by the length of a slightly long fingernail.
Yep.
Taking
Photo
the
finish.
gold. Yep.
And a photo for the podium as well.
There are our 14 to 16s waiting to come up to the podium. That will be our final presentation this morning.
Yeah, that was a cracking race between second and third, wasn't it?
It was. What a comeback from Zara Kravis at the end, but not quite able to close it up. And Zara's the one that's not there.
Yeah.
So the bronze medalist to East Lothian swim team.
We're still trying to get her to come over.
There she is. Again. Where are the East Lothian colours there? Pink. Oh, it's just got an East Lothian logo on it. I'll take it all back. So Helen Stoddart, Anna Lawson, Tegan Black and Zara Kravis, the quartet from East Lothian. Getting nice encouragement there from the Warrender team. Of course, local rivals. And silver medal to City of Glasgow. Just edging it from East Lothian, Heidi Wren, Freya Beaton, Ellie Kennedy and Louise Connell.
Louise certainly did a bit to hang on at the end there, just to secure that silver.
And your gold medalist and national champions, Warren de Baths. And the team is Ashley Drake, Rosie Forster, Kiana Kurtzer and Phoebe Arbuckle.
Great swimming from Warrender there. Led from the front and held on won each leg in their own right, so that was great swimming. Great team performance.
Yep, it never really looked in doubt, did it? So that's us for the morning session. So we look forward to seeing you back again. You see there, coverage continues. 1:35, we'll start swimming at 1:40. Here's a bit of a recap of some of the things that you saw earlier.